Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live. I want to make sure I'm streaming. Yep. 00140 Life Alert. So, oh goodness, what a day it was. Crashed. Oh, some people say 10,000. I didn't see it go down to 10,000, not on Bitstamp anyway. It did dip to in the 1100s, very close to in the below 1100. So, but other than that, not too bad. But today is so if you don't know where that is, I'll get to the notes section here. Anyways, let's see what I got here. Bond trading view, list of top 58 coins and tokens compared to Bitcoin percentage. So I do have a list, a customized view on-chain FX. I have not flagged it because there are so many altcoins. Of about 40 right now. It was, I think, 48 yesterday, and now it's about 40. My flagged for shorts that I can't even. It just does something weird. Just too many altcoins hitting all-time highs, but yet I have a sneaky suspicion that the Bitcoin it probably would not make an all-time high in Bitcoin. I'll go over that. Then I have Gregory Maxwell celebrates high fees and 300,000. Now, sounds a little misleading on this article, and it is, because I also have the Bitcoin Dev. Total fees have almost crossed the block reward list for the Bitcoin devs. And so I'll go over that. That's where the source of the information came from. It's a little misleading, but I'll go over that. And then I have down 34%, which is pretty normal in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but down 34% in a week. Big don't flinch. That's right. Bitcoin hodlers don't flinch. Mainly because if you're a hodler, you don't have your Bitcoins on an exchange to sell. So, of course, you wouldn't flinch. You would just ride the wave out, and you're still up 14,000% because it's up to 14,000 last time I checked. But I'll go, of course, I will do look at the mempool. I'll look at the fees for the mempool. And I'll also do a Bitcoin chart analysis at the end of the live stream. I hear next, Coinbase trading went down Bitcoin price. The exchange is back after trading was disabled for 2 hours. So Coinbase did have essentially a blackout. Everything was just apparently seemed to be down, and even on, I think even on GDAX from what I understand. But anyways, nothing happened for about, there seems to be rumors on whether they are able to actually provide you with your coins. So interesting things about Coinbase. The way they have their wallet set up and the high fees right now. It's possible that they could be paying a lot in fees just to get your coins to you or get the coins sent, even though they have some kind of internal. They should be able to do internal transactions, but maybe that won't work. Anyways, I'll go over that article. And then finally, another article here. SegWit 2x to be reborn in coming weeks ahead. Yes, there's another SegWit 2x fork. So there was SegWit.org. Now there's the B2X.io website. I'll go over both of those. If it might be actually real or it could be fake, you never know. I have partitioned off in the notes section. I have the two news aggregators, real-time cryptocurrency news aggregator. I have a link for that. And Crypto Panic is a news aggregator platform indicating impact on price for traders and cryptocurrency enthusiasts. Let me just go over some of those. They're a little different, but they kind of give you good information. I do admit, useful. I've been getting a lot of my news, believe it or not, and the news articles. Right. I recommend if you're really into the cryptocurrency space and you want to stay top of things, whether it comes from the mainstream media source or even if it comes from your typical news aggregator of news tweets, Reddit posts, and other typical cryptocurrency websites. .com. Let's have a look at some of the news feeds that are coming up recently. And let me refresh it real quick, see what other new coming in right now at this time. Okay, so ICO to build next generation AI raises 36 million in. This comes from Cointelegraph. 35 minutes ago, Coinbase to add new coins to exchange. 18. This is 39 minutes ago. This is coming from investblockchain.com. Let me just check that out because there's rumors that Coinbase will add Ripple. Let me just check out and read the. Apparently, they added. Okay, so the rumors are they will add Dash, Ripple, and Monero in 2018. This is a news feed I'm getting from CoinSpectator. So what the article here says. So interesting. This came out 39 minutes ago. Investinblockchain.com. Let me see. Hedge fund magnate Mike delays new cryptocurrency fund. Cautions on Bitcoin. This is coming from Cointelegraph 1 hour ago. Headline: Michael Novogratz, Bitcoin may dip to 8,000, puts crypto hedge fund on hiatus. This is coming from Bitcoin.com 1 hour ago. XRP continues ascent due to clear utility. This is coming from EthereumWorldNews.com. This is 1 hour ago. Currency stocks hold on despite Bitcoin drop. VentureBeat.com 1 hour ago. Waves NG goes live on mainnet. Company incorporated in Switzerland. CryptoNinjas.net. This is 1 hour ago. Seems like Waves thinks that if they incorporate in Switzerland, that's going to protect them from regulation. So good luck. I think they're trying to like follow Ethereum's role, Ethereum's business plan, which I think is a big mistake on their part. Estonia reveals plans for new cryptocurrency. Okay. Let me see some of the more interesting ones here. All right, here's one that caught my attention. Bitcoin price increases as being impacted by terrorism. Former CIA official. Like, this is coming from EthereumWorldNews.com. I mean, let me just go on to this. This is 4 hours ago. But it seems like, when it rains, it pours, and everybody wants to bash on Bitcoin. So again, the poop and scoop still continues. But the price did recover a little bit. I was surprised. It went down to 1,100 or into the 1,100s, and then it's at 1,400 now. So like literally, it moved about I I think it moved about $5,000 to $6,000 in ranging price. Went down 3,000, went up 2,000 or 3,000, something like that. So in a range, it moved $6,000. That's pretty amazing. If you were trading today, you either made massive gains in Bitcoin or you made massive gains in US dollar. Maybe even both if you did it right. So let me see this article here. Bitcoin price increases is being impacted by terrorism, former CIA official. Let me read the first paragraph here. Current director at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies and former CIA official, Yeye Fanusi, believes that Bitcoin price rally is being affected and is attracting extremist groups' attention like Syria, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda. Even that the funding in these particular cases are still modest at best, for the time being, the activities are very much generated by the mainstream train that has hit Bitcoin in 2017. Fanusi methodology was simple. She pursued extremist websites regularly, prowling for Bitcoin addresses listed for donations. So, okay. It's not that hard to use a Bitcoin address, but yeah, I guess you can, if you really wanted to, I guess that's one way of tracking it. So interesting. All right, so when it rains, it pours. Whether this is true or not, who knows? But that caught my attention. The whole terrorist angle has been going on ever since Bitcoin was created, and it seems to just continue to go on. But is it a good use case, or is it a use case for it? I mean, it is censorship resistant. So, now how would a terrorist organization use Bitcoin? I have no idea. Let's see. Okay, so that's from coinspectator.com. Let's check out Crypto Panic real quick and see what goodies we're getting from there. All right, let's see. I saw a lot of tweets from Eric Voorhees still complaining about the high fees. Let's see, 41 minutes ago, to everybody that gets scared and sold, thanks for the discounts. This is coming from Verge Currency. 41 minutes ago, ICO to build next generation AI raises 36 million, 30 seconds. Cointelegraph, this is getting 2 negatives. 42 minutes ago, Facebook Messenger malware mines Monero. EthereumWorldNews.com. Oh, goodness. Here are the top 29 cryptocurrencies that has a market cap of more than 1 billion, coverage by Business Insider. From a tweet, NEM official. So I guess that's from the Twitter from NEM official 44 minutes ago. I guess NEM's a part of that. 29. That's over a billion market cap. 46 minutes ago, Coinbase to add new coins to exchange in 2018. That's also coming from investinblockchain.com. Same thing I read. And let me see what else. Hedge fund, 56 minutes ago, hedge fund magnate Mike Novogratz delays new cryptocurrency fund, cautions on Bitcoin. That's coming from Cointelegraph. So same source. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find some newer things here. Let me see. Not too much interesting. Anyways, not too much interesting that I found. Let me see what. I think there was a couple sources I got. Okay, Bitcoin price increase as being. Oh, I already read that. That got 6 negatives. This is from Crypto Panic. It shows negatives and importance and positives and saves. But the same story, Bitcoin price increase is being impacted by terrorism, former CIA official. This has 16 negative to it, 2 important and 2 saves on Crypto Panic. So the sentiment seems to be negative on that story. All right. So, anyways, that's it for the crypto panic news. There's a news aggregator. I read some of that stuff off you, pretty recent stuff. So you can all check it out for yourselves. Let's see what else is in there. Okay, so next in the notes section that's been partitioned off, I have "It's Time to Stop" meme. This section is basically all the forks, fake forks, joke forks, meme forks, and potential hard forks of Bitcoin. So it's time to stop with these hard forks. I also have Bitcoin uranium. Still waiting for a fool to pick up on that one, but time is almost running out. Bitcoin Cash Plus, Bitcoin Classic, Super Bitcoin, Bitcoin Diamond BID, Bitcoin Diamond BCD, Bitcoin X, and then Bitcoin Faith. I'll mention Bitcoin God. I haven't put a link in it yet. I haven't done too much research into it, but supposedly on December 25th, which I think the time really moved up faster, so probably really soon, there's going to be Bitcoin God. And then Bitcoin or United Bitcoin has already happened, but you probably don't want to try to get those because you have to register your address. You probably dox yourself. And then I have a link to a list of airdrops from cryptocreed.com for those of you who like receiving free money from the sky. Okay, so next in the notes section, I have SegWit charts, useful links, SegWit charts, Coin Codex, Live Coin Watch, CoinGecko, BitInfo charts, Joho mempool statistics. If you want to know a graphical, if you want to see a graphical representation of the mempool and the fees, Salom.io, a listing platform, transaction accelerator, and then I have a link to Bitcoin Cash hash rate, historical 6-month chart, and then also in the notes section partitioned off, I collecting your free Bitcoin Gold with Coinami, the support desk, a link to the Coinami support desk. I also made a video how to split Bitcoin Gold BTG01 if you need more additional help. And then of course there's the mnemonic code converter from Coinami. So if you don't have a Android, you can't download Coinami. You can use the recovery phrase tool. You can also use it to generate a new wallet as well. And then have a link to Bitcoin Gold, the website. All right. And then finally, next in the note section that's been partitioned off, I have links about BitConnect. If you've been watching my video or anybody else's video about cryptocurrency, and you had someone like Craig Grant or his mistress Juliana trying to talk you into BitConnect, you might want to read these articles. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? Notice regarding high-yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? And then I have James Bond, Bitcoin Live 0017, where I interview 3 BitConnectors and one guest that's just a regular guest, and he's basically the control of the group. He's the normal person, and even the 4th guest, kind of obvious to him that BitConnect is a Ponzi. But go ahead and check out that video, fun to watch. All right, and then finally, in the last part of the note section that's been partitioned off, I have the video theme for this video. I think you'll enjoy it. I've fallen and I can't get up. Remember those old commercials when we used to watch like TV, you know, through the cable, or just regular TV through antenna, or who knows what else? Maybe you had satellite TV. In that case you may not have it. Maybe you didn't watch any commercials, but I've fallen and I can't get up is the commercial for Life Alert. And it's the old lady who's fallen and can't get up. So basically, that was that was shared to me by Kewl. Thank you, Kewl, for sharing that video with me. I thought it was very funny. I even shared it in my video. And I guess the sentiment with Bitcoin is that it's fallen and it can't get up. It's an old lady or something. But of course, we know that's not true. And then I have hashtag yes2x101. What you're looking at right now. Let me see, 5, 6, 7, 7. We're the 7 days for the 7 years. So we're on the 7th day, celebrating the 7th year of Bitcoin. And you know, let me see here. I would say the 7th year of Bitcoin, you know, after it hit an all-time high of almost $12,000, that was probably the bottom. The 7th year of Bitcoin, it probably hit the bottom. It, you know, it bottomed out after that, and then ever since then, it's been steadily rising. The 8th year, and then the 8th year, which is this year, it definitely rose up quite a bit on the 8th year, right? So 2017 was really the year of probably cryptocurrencies in general, but Bitcoin, man, $19,000, or very close to, I would say, what was it, $19,666 on Bitstamp, very close to $20,000. Uh, that's not too shabby. My target price, my ultimate my target price was and still is 21,000. So just because the year is over and we didn't quite hit that target price in the time frame, it's still pretty close, good enough for me. If the price the price is still going to go up, so it has to pass 21,000 anyway at some point. So my target price is still 21,000. I haven't changed. I haven't gotten a confirmation that the market is in a bear market. Nothing yet so far. We probably need at least a couple more weeks, maybe all the way even up to January, for me to actually see on a weekly time frame, on a weekly chart, whether the market is turning bearish or this is just a retracement into another all-time high. So still remains to be seen. And then so 7th year, yeah. So I remember that on the 7th year, probably Bitcoin was at its lowest since the all-time high of 1,200. So it was about $200. If you bought it $200, wow. You know, why would you sell? Why would you panic sell? You wouldn't. You would just still hodl. So, and then I have a link to pot of gold, a link to the pot of gold, to the Bitcoin pot of gold. I have the donational address to the Bitcoin pot of gold. It's a SegWit address, so please donate. All right, so let's check out everyone who's all in the live chat here. All right, so it looks like we got a few people here. And let me see if I could change it. I'm going to add the live chat in here. Let's see who's all in the live chat. All right, wow, we got quite a few people here. I should probably make this bigger so you can see here. It's not letting me. It's not letting me. Let me see. Hold on. I think I can zoom in. There we go. So you can kind of see just a little bit. There we go. So let's see who's all in the live chat here. We have dual overhead camness, spilt milk. Yes, spilt milk. Andre Barnwell, thank you. 21 million. How you doing? I thought you were on vacation. You should be relaxing. And then Leisure Picker, thank you. Ty Lopez on Bitcoin could only watch for 2 minutes. Amazing how many people are watching him right now. Ty Lopez. Who is Ty Lopez? I don't even know who Ty Lopez is. So let me see. Defibrillator on standby, dual overhead camness. Oh goodness. Brian, howdy. How you doing? How's Oklahoma? And Marty Wilkinson, welcome. Welcome to the live chat. Let's see who else is in here. Let's see. Hello, guys. Tomcat, good to see you again. And Fud Machine, how you doing? Good to see you. And let's see what is going on here. Mr. Lordex, thank you for coming in. Coinbase with the force HODL. Yes, they're making you hold. Am I having mic problems? Hold on, let me see here. I'm still going live. It could be the I have a lot of stuff, so maybe it is taking a long time. And Cubero, thank you for the link. Thank you for the link, buddy. I really appreciate the link for the I've fallen and I can't get up. It brings back old memories. When I first saw that, everybody, you know, the day that everybody saw that commercial came out with Life Alert, you would see it on skits on other TV comedy, late night comedy like Saturday Night Live and Living Color, I think, and some other obscure late night comedy TV shows. And then we would go to school the next day, and everybody would make jokes about the "I've fallen and I can't get up" commercial. Bitcoin for Allah, Allah be praised. Very funny. Bitcoin for AK-47s. All right, I'm okay with that. I do own a variant of an AK-47. You know, when I get into different rifles, I try to learn the two basic battle rifles that's all over the world, right? Your basically your AR-15s or M16s, and then your AK-47 variants. And you know, if there's a good chance, if all hell breaks loose and the governments fall apart, like some people think that the governments are falling apart, and the world goes into other chaos, you're either going to pick up two rifles. You're either going to pick up an AK-47 variant or some kind, or an M16 or an AR-15 type of rifle. So, you know, you learn those two rifle systems, you basically, that's 80% of the rifles out there in the whole world. So, yeah, Andre Barnwell, 2021 was really close, man, really close. We were right there. Only it was like we're literally like $2,000 away. Plex AMS, good to see you in the chat. You say, hey James, do you use Ikimoku clouds? I find them incredibly predictive for Bitcoin. You do. I do not use Ikimoku clouds. I think I did some research into them, and maybe it's just too complicated for me. I think I have an understanding of it, kinda, but I like to really keep it simple. Like I use Bitcoin Wisdom, and Bitcoin Wisdom is really simple, and it's free. And I probably could use TradingView, but I prefer Bitcoin Wisdom because it's just so much simpler to use. I can't copy lines and make trend lines. But the thing about Bitcoin that I've noticed is if you like just make a trend line off the tops of the candlesticks, including the wicks, they're very accurate. It's not like you know, Forex or stocks where people just draw lines on a chart, and they don't really connect the dots per se. They don't connect the candlesticks. They just draw a line, and they just make it work. And so with Bitcoin, if you connect it, if you just, you know, stick it to the top of the candlestick or the bottom of the candlesticks, they tend to work really well on Bitcoin. I'm just a little confused. I'm more, I guess you could say, I don't know if you ever heard of turtle trading. Turtle trading is basically momentum investing. And if you really follow the rules to be exact, I mean, I don't really, but I do understand it. You know, just follow the higher highs, and if they're in a downtrend, you just follow the highs, and you just follow it, and then the buying point is when it breaks above that the previous high on a chart. I'll get into it later. It's interesting. It's more like swing trading, and it depends on how much money you make. If you did that on a monthly time frame, on a monthly chart with Bitcoin since 2013, you probably would have bought in around an average price of 300 to maybe even 250. That would have been your average price to buy in, or that's when you would have started buying, and then momentum buying on the way up. And if you rode it all the way up, you probably would be a millionaire by now. So anyways, I think the price went down low enough to probably hit your exit. And so anyways, Brad Taylor, welcome. Jacob TS, good evening to you. And let's see, client, oh, David Hamilton, yes, good to see you. And client Shibzig, good to see you as well. Let me see here. Okay, oh, there we go. That'll open it up more. And then Mr. Lorex, let me see. A Mexican, I don't know where that come from. Andy Anderson, welcome. Welcome. Wall Street terrorist. I guess they didn't. They forgot to mention that in the article, but Wall Street terrorist, yes. But they're talking about it like ISIS and Al Qaeda. So, all right, excellent. So there it is. Let me get back up here. There we go. Let's get back to this here. All right. So, thank you for everybody being in the live chat. Really appreciate it. A little something I'm doing. I'm showing you guys chatting, so we can talk about things in real time, hopefully. All right, so happy Hanukkah, everyone. Happy Hanukkah. We're on our 7th day for the 7th year, and the 7th year was probably the toughest year to be in Bitcoin. Well, not the toughest year, but since 2013, right? Since the all-time high, the previous all-time high of 1,200, the 7th year was probably the hardest time to be in. And if we're in the, currently we're in the 8th year, but we're going to be celebrating the 9th year beginning this year. The Satoshi white paper introduced October 31st is the 9th year that it's been introduced. And I think January the 3rd will be the Genesis block. And so here you go. And so on the this candlestick holder that I called the Moonora here, I filled in this spot, I believe, this spot right here. And so I think you know, we need to stay alive, people. Stay alive. No matter what situation you're in or what you're doing, stay alive. All right. You have to stay in the game. If for some reason you get wrecked and you can't stay in the game, that's not good. So whatever you need to do to stay alive, stay alive. Stay in the game. The longer you're in the game, the more money you'll make, and the more profitable you'll be. Okay, I'm just speaking from my own experience. Since I've been involved since 2013, stay in the game no matter what happens. All right, no matter how much money you lost or you think you lost, HODL, it will pay off. If you're going to start accumulating, accumulate when the price is lower, because you know, even if it takes 2 years or 3 years, which isn't a long time, okay, 2 to 3 years is not a long time, although it feels like a long time in the cryptocurrency space, but it's really not. It goes by faster than you think. Like when I experienced the last market crash of 2013 and the subsequent years after that, you know, it was hard. You know, you came off of an all-time high. You're holding some bags probably, and you're probably thinking, what am I going to do? Well, what I did was I started getting into the peer-to-peer market, and I started trading on local Bitcoins. And that's when I really learned how Bitcoin really works and what it can do for you. And so if you can stay in the game somehow and sustain yourself, because the worst thing you can do is leave the space. All right. If you leave the space, you miss out on accumulating a lot of Bitcoins at a lower price. You got to stick. You gotta stick to it. You gotta be in the game, even when the price is like being beaten down, and probably a lot of bashing, Bitcoin bashing, is going to be going on. You'll be ridiculed. You'll be made fun of. Bitcoin will not be popular anymore. It'll be embarrassing to talk about Bitcoin. People will like say, "Hey, how's that Bitcoin stuff going?" You know, and you can't really say much because you know, right now you haven't made a lot of money, especially if you bought in at, you know, 19,000. It's kind of hard to, you know, talk about this stuff. It's easy to talk about Bitcoin when it's at 20,000 and you made $10,000 every day or whatever, you know. But you have to stick. You have to stick to the game plan. You have to be in the game, and the longer you're in the game, the more money you will make. And so, it just takes time. All right, takes time. So life alert. All right, stay alive, people. Stay in the game. All right. Oh, wow, bright screen. Sorry about that. So while that's loading, let me see what you're all saying in the chat here. Is this refreshing? There we go. Let's see what some of you are saying. It's too mainstream now. Really? You think it's too mainstream? DD8209, welcome to the chat. Let me see. Best year ever. I think there's more years to come. The power of John Travolta compels you to stay alive. Yes, yes. And let's see here. I bought Andre Barnware. You say I bought my first Bitcoin locally, and I had the same empathy. Epiphany. I'm sorry if I can't read that. So, anyways, let's see. All right. Okay, Bitcoin pot of gold. Please donate to the Bitcoin pot of gold. Here's the QR code on the left side here. It is the donational address pointing to the Bitcoin pot of gold. Look at all that Bitcoin right there that you can have. I don't know what it is. I don't know how much is in there now. I thought it was over $160. The price has come down. I need to have it go up to $80 worth of Bitcoin at current prices. So please donate. If you don't like the Bitcoin that you have and you feel it's not worth it, well, please donate it. And then maybe when the price goes back up, you could try to win it back. Because remember, many people will donate, but only one person will win. All right. And the QR code here on the right side is the QR code. It's encrypted private key. And if you have a SegWit wallet, you should be able to sweep the SegWit address. If you don't, you probably need to use a private encrypted private key decoder to get to the private key, and then use the private key on a SegWit sender like SegWit. Is it SegWit.org? I think. I think SegWit.org is a private SegWit wallet sender, and also a SegWit paper wallet generator. Anyways, that's another way of doing it. The QR code down here is, if you use a regular scanner, it is a link to Yellow Fever for You. He's the one that gave me this idea. Sendall, that's right, Sendall. Let's see what the next story is. Sorry for the brightness here. Let's see what you all have to say here. All right, let's see here. Epiphany. Okay, sorry about Epiphany. Sorry, I got you. All right, Epiphany. Gosh, I'm learning ebonics here. Thank you, Leisure Picker. Thank you very, very much. Epiphany. That's right. You know, I have to admit, even though I am an adult and I do read quite a bit, my reading skill level is probably still that of like a middle school. And so, I don't write too much. And maybe I should get into writing. I probably would learn more words and expand my vocabulary. But as you know, sometimes you don't need complicated words. I actually spend a lot of time with my children, and that's one of the things that I do enjoy. And I'm not in a rush to go back to the workforce, because you'll spend all your life working, and you'll miss most of the best time of your life. All right, you'll miss it. You'll miss most of the best enjoyable time of your life, the quality of life that you have, by not spending time with your loved ones, unfortunately. And so I spend a lot of time with my kids, and I just don't use epiphany with the word epiphany and some more complicated words. You know, it's just more like, you know, simple simple elementary words. But thank you, Epiphany. That's right. You see, okay, so here's the OCFX uh, bond trading view. Here it is. Bond trading view. This is created by James Bond Bitcoin Live. List of top 55 tokens and 55 coins and tokens, should be 58, compared to Bitcoin percentage and all-time high, flagged for shorts. And so the flag for shorts would usually be right here in this box, but because there are so many, I'll just go ahead and just display them. What I do is I just order these by all-time highs. All right, all-time highs. Days since all-time highs. Sorry, excuse me. And so I list them that way, and then that's my list for the most part. And this is how you know when it hits an all-time high. That's how you know you're going to get the most amount of Bitcoin for these coins, for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part. And then, of course, you have a down from the all-time high. So these are all down from the all-time high here. So Ripple's really hot. You probably make a lot of Bitcoin, and it goes by priority 1 being the most high priority, and it goes all the way down. I don't go beyond 3 days. After 3 days, price usually just starts kind of tanking. Sometimes they'll jump back up on the list, and they'll become back a part of my flag shorts. But really, after 4 days, you know, they start trending downwards. In reality, this is what happens. So that's why I don't really, you know, after 4 days hitting their all-time highs, I don't really bother with it anymore. Because if you know how Bitcoin works, the reason why they're hitting all-time highs, or they did hit their all-time highs, because Bitcoin has hit their all-time high. So Bitcoin hits an all-time high. Some of that money, some of that value goes into these other altcoins, and then after going into these altcoins, they go back into Bitcoin. So they just it just circulates to a point, and it starts creating this money velocity. And the more velocity that it generates, the price just tends to take off like crazy. And you know, this is a part of trading, and unfortunately also selling to the greater fool. So right now, let's see, I have it looks like it just updated, so it's 38. The last one goes to Einsteinium, so it's 38 right here. So I don't go beyond 3 days. And you can see as the bottom of the list in my proprietary secret formula, which kind of isn't proprietary anymore or secret, but if it helps you, I'm glad you're using it. As you can see right here, Einsteinium lost 61% from its all-time high, so that's why it's on the bottom. Let me see here. Let's go back up. So I'll go over some of them. I won't go over all of them. All right, let's see what's else is in here. Oh goodness, I hate for you to see this white screen, so I'll just take a look at the chat here. Let it go in here. It's not refreshing. Oh well. Let me see if it refreshed. Okay, so here it is. All right, so let's take a look at this here. If you haven't had a chance to read this or see this, this is a little misleading from TrustNote. It says Gregory Maxwell celebrates high fees and 300,000 stuck in transaction. Now, I think it's a little, the headline is misleading, and because the source of this information came from somewhere else. It came from the mailing list. So let's take a look at the mailing list. Sorry about that. Okay, here you go. So here's the mailing list. And here's the Bitcoin Dev. Total fees have almost crossed the block reward. So this is the mailing list. And if you look at the first paragraph, this is where the headline comes from. I don't know if this is a little satire or a joke. It says, personally, I'm pulling out the champagne that market behavior is indeed activity levels that can pay for security without inflation, and also producing fee paying backlogs needed to subsidize consensus as the subsidy declines. So what is he saying in this first paragraph? Basically that the need to increase inflation, in other words, to create more coins, may not be needed. People have been talking about increasing the total supply of coins, and that may or may not be necessary, depending if you want to keep an economic system kind of going, greasing the wheels, so to speak, quote unquote. Of course, that's kind of goes against the whole point of Bitcoin, theoretically, or at the beginning of it anyways. And so the market seems to be what I guess Greg Maxwell is writing here, behaving in a way that will, or the inflation, more coins being introduced into the system, because the backlog of transactions are pretty much matching the fee subsidy, which is, I think, 12.25. Once the halving goes, it's going to be 6.25, and then as it continues, the fees should be in line with the halving, supposedly, quote unquote. Now, if you ask me, there's two things that are going to have to happen. Right now, we're in this phase where fees are driving, are really high right now. But there's a backlog of people willing to pay those fees, and those fees currently equal to the block reward, which is 12.25. Yeah, 12.5 Bitcoins. So if the fee gets reduced, or if block rewards get reduced, theoretically the price should go up, okay? And then the fees should also go down as well over time. So as long as the price goes up, your fees should essentially go down. So we've hit a point, I think what he's trying to say is we've hit a point where the fees will probably subsidize the mining in the future. Now the problem is we're kind of in a weird scenario here where the fees are also going down, right? The fees should also should go down if the price increases, supposedly, because if it's supposed to match the mining reward goes down. So unless their plan is to eventually have 50 Bitcoins to be the fees to be replaced, because originally Bitcoin, it was 50 Bitcoins to mine in the beginning. If the goal is to have 12.5 block reward and 12.5 fees, then that means fees will have to go up, ironically. So the subsidy goes down, fees go up. So if the thinking is fees are going to support and the mining of Bitcoin, then that means you may have to start paying fees. You may have to start paying fees. So this is very interesting. Go ahead and read it. If you think there's something more to it than that, let me continue. It's not that long. In the second paragraph, he says, I'd also personally prefer to pay lower fees. So it's kind of a little different, right? The title of the paragraph and then the first paragraph is a little misleading from this news article, right? Where Gregory Maxwell celebrates high fees, 300 stuck transactions. A little misleading. But if you read on, it says, on the second paragraph right here, I'd also personally prefer to pay lower fees. Current levels even challenge my old comparison with wire transfer costs. but we should look most strongly at difficult to forge market signals rather than just claims. SegWit usage gives us a pretty good indicator, since most users would get a 50 to 70% fee reduction without even considering the second order effects from increased capacity. So it looks like what he's trying to say in the second paragraph to me is that people want to pay high fees. The reason why they want to pay high fees is because they're not adopting SegWit. SegWit would give you a 50 to 70% reduction without even adding the Lightning Network or the other second layer effects. So you have to consider who is not adopting SegWit. Well, maybe some of the miners or most of the miners may not want to adopt SegWit. That's kind of always been the contention here, because perhaps maybe they feel that it would reduce their fee, because if what he's saying is right, that the fees will eventually take over the block rewards, and the original block rewards were 50 Bitcoins. So when the block reward reduces, the fees will increase, or there's going to be more users to pay for those fees. And so maybe that's what he's saying. Okay, so check it out, read it for yourself. I think that you could get some good knowledge and insight and understanding on what the fee market may be like in the future with Bitcoin. And it may have to go to this, because if the block rewards eventually shrinks and the fees are going to take over for the block rewards, either a couple things are going to have to happen. More people are going to have to come on and pay the fees, which is kind of hard because there is a limit. The other thing is also or people are going to pay a very high amount. Like you're going to literally have to pay, you know, a lot in fees, considering the price is going to go up. And then I think the expectation is going to be 50 Bitcoins to be the reward. 50 Bitcoins. So that's quite steep. Hello, Howard Work. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you as well. And hello, Julie G. Good to see you. Another note here is another reason why maybe the transaction, your fees may be high. There's a couple of other reasons why the fees are high. Okay, but I'll skip over this paragraph here, but let me read this paragraph here. It says, but even independently of SegWit, we can also look at other inefficiencies, transaction styles, uncompressed keys. If you're using an uncompressed key, it adds more bytes to the transactions. Unconfirmed chain instead of sending many batching. So if you're sending just one at a time, one output, two inputs. I'm sorry, one input, two outputs. You're actually going to pay more for the amount of transaction. If you batch your transactions, you'll actually it'll average out to be, at least if you're very good at it, you can actually average out your transaction to 1 Satoshi per byte. You'll probably pay like whatever, you know, the $200 to $300. But if you batch like, I don't know, like 100 transactions, and they're essentially almost 1 Satoshi per byte, you know, and you pay $100, it'll come out to be almost like whatever, $1 or even less per transactions. The whole transaction will be worth a lot of money for the miner to pick up, and it'll be worth it. But the bytes per fee will be probably very low if you're able to batch. So of course, learn how to use some of the Bitcoin senders. Coinbase is very good with that. I don't know of any other ones. I think Blockchain Info may have a way for you to batch your transactions. But just doing one transaction, one input, two outputs, just doing that one at a time, it's going to cost you more money. So batch your transactions. Another thing it says here is fee overpayments. Like, people are really overpaying the fees. I don't think they understand how it works, but maybe they don't want to. You know, some people have enough. The transaction is more important than the fee, so they're willing to pay the fee. And that's the other thing. The market is willing. You have to consider market fundamentals. The market will pay, right, whatever, as long as it can bear the cost. And the message here is similar. And so here's another one. And then finally, at the last part here, I'll read it to you right here. I've also seen some evidence that a portion of the current high rate congestion is contrived traffic. So he's saying basically that the network is being spammed. To the extent that it's true, there also should be some relief there soon as the funding for that runs out, in addition to expected traffic patterns, difficulty changes, etc. So of course, every time you spam the network, you're paying a fee, and eventually, if you keep doing that, you'll run out of Bitcoin to spam the network. So there seems to be some evidence that Greg Maxwell believes is spam, is to drive the mempool up and drive up the fees. And so if they keep doing that, they're going to eventually run out of fees. And then when the blocks, when the mempool finally, I guess, goes down, everything will return back to a mean, or at least the normal average for fees. So keep that in mind. So go ahead and read it yourself. It's a little misleading on how this article is headlined, but if you actually read the mailing, it kind of, it's a little different. It gives you more insight. I am a little worried that there is an anticipation that fees are going to replace block rewards, because I guess the expectation is to get 50 Bitcoins per block. And if the price just keeps going up, so either two things are going to happen. I mean, the mining, the security of the network has to increase to justify that large amount of money. So I guess if you want to really kind of extract some valuable information, there's two things you can extract from this. The first thing is Bitcoin mining will continue. The difficulty will continue. And, you know, securing the network, the hashing rate will all go up. The cost of energy, the energy consumption to keep the network going will continue to go up. So if I'm going to assume some of that information there, I would have to also assume that the price will also go up as well, as we all expect the price to go up. We expect the price to go up over time. But the fee thing is kind of interesting because as the block rewards reduce, I think the next halving is going to be 6.25. That means the expected fee to make up to 50 Bitcoins is basically, what is that, 40, 44, 43 and 3/4. So 43.75 Bitcoins are going to be expected, right? 43.75 Bitcoins are going to be expected in fees to put your transactions in the block. That's the assumption that I'm getting here. So anyways, as the block rewards shrink, eventually it will supposed to be 50 Bitcoins, I'm assuming, is what they're expecting. I'm assuming so. So let's see. I think looks like most of the Bitcoins will be mined, and after that point, I mean, you start getting into infinity, if you know what I'm saying. Like the block rewards, the subsidy will eventually go to infinity. Like it'll never go down to zero, but it'll just keep, you know, going to like a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller amount, but never really reaching zero until supposedly 2140. But that's a long ways. I'll be dead. You'll be dead. I think all of us will be dead unless somehow we find a cure for aging. So maybe that's another use case for Bitcoin. Bitcoin will not only solve the energy problem of this world, but it'll solve the aging problem of this world, because we all want to live forever to spend our Bitcoins or to see the final block rewards mined on Bitcoin. Maybe that's what we want to see for ourselves. Maybe. Who knows? You never know. All right, let me go on to the next one here. While that's loading, let's have a look at the chat. Let's see. Oh, I need to refresh this. F5. So I have to wait for this to get refreshed. Anyways, let's go back. All right, so here's another one. 34% in a week. Bitcoin hodlers don't flinch. When the price was hitting 12,900. Well, today the price went a lot lower, Bitcoin hodlers don't flinch. You know why Bitcoin hodlers don't flinch? Because the Bitcoin hodlers a long time ago or acquired their Bitcoins. So even if they did rebuy back in at the top, it's only because they sold at the top and they're just buying back in. So if you did sell, you probably sold at around the top. And if you did buy somewhere around the top, it's probably because you could have gotten more Bitcoins in your average costing on the way down, or dollar cost averaging the way down. So that may be the case here. So if you bought in early enough, you should be able to you know, hold on to your Bitcoins without fear of loss. Matter of fact, instead of making a 2,000% return, maybe you made a 1,400, right? 1,400% return, which is still awesome. But so you shouldn't have any reason to fear or be afraid of all your gains. You still made a very pretty penny, in my opinion. Very pretty penny. Okay, let's see what we have here. Saying here. You're saying Qbro says, of course, SegWit would reduce the fees. It's like block size increase. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how no one's really using it. And did want to use it, are using SegWit addresses. I still have a lot of my cold storage in uncompressed in an uncompressed format. Did anything yet? You know, when you HODL, you really don't want to move anything. I've been using a SegWit address for the cold, but most of the wallets I'm using right now, unfortunately, are not SegWit compatible. There's very few. Samurai, I think Coinbase will let you use a SegWit format address. Of course, that's on the PageScript formats to it that's not being used. So it still has a long way to go. SegWit adoption has really a very go. I don't know. Last time I checked, it was at 10 usage and adoption. So if you can get up to 95%, then yeah, your fees would go down, would be increased. You would have more transactions. So I'm not sure what the issue is. I think mainly because there are some people that are holding back, and maybe they want a large, you know, they're happy with it. I don't know why, but who knows? It's interesting dynamic that's going on in this space. You say, what else can we do to save on fees? Which services do you use where you can adjust the transaction fee? Okay, Will Campbell. Here are a few ways that you can use. You can batch send. Another one is use Coinbase. I guess I can try to show you a little bit later on in the show. Another one is you can use I use paper wallets. That is my cold storage, and I use like the mnemonic code converter to generate my keys and to generate the mnemonic code. So I use wallet generator, and so I don't use quote unquote hardware wallets because anything can be a hardware wallet. Your computer, a USB drive, a SIM card, another hard drive, you name it. You know. But now the hardware, it's the generator, the private key generator, and the wallet generator, and the mnemonic seed generator is what's really important, and that's pretty standard. You can go onto GitHub and get a whole bunch of free wallet generators, and so I use a paper wallet, and I use Mycelium. Mycelium, they'll let you pick a fee, and it may or may not go through. Another one is Coinami has a default setting, but I tried to use it because the mempool is so full, your low fees will not go through. What else can you do? I guess you could try to use a SegWit wallet. I don't know if that's going to help because you really need a lot of people to be on the SegWit address. You need a lot of people. You need the miners to start mining more than 1 megabyte. So right now it's kind of like, because apparently the market is saying they don't want an increased block size or an efficiency in the transactions. They want an inefficient transaction because they want fees. They want the fees. So anyways, I'll go over some of the other things you can do. What's the next thing here? All right, so 10 a week, holders don't flinch. Okay, what's my next one here? Oh, let me take out some of these. Some of these are really draining. And I'll take out this one as well. Okay. Hopefully that'll speed up a little bit better. So Coinbase trading went down amid plunge in Bitcoin price. So when the price was at its lowest, I think it hit 10,000 maybe. Apparently Coinbase kind of completely shut down. I think GDAX also shut down. And I don't know if it was panic selling or what the deal was. And then that's when I started hearing rumors that Coinbase may be on fractional reserve. If they're not on fractional reserve, they may be paying a very high transaction fee. And so if you have Bitcoins on Coinbase, on their internal ledger, it may show that you have X amount of Bitcoins in their internal ledger. They're showing a total amount of Bitcoins. But in their actual wallet on the blockchain, right, if they consolidated all their Bitcoins into one address, they may be ending up a few $1 million short. So it's probably a really good idea if you have Bitcoin on Coinbase, you might want to start taking them out before they realize they're short on Bitcoins because they had to pay miner fees. And the irony is, if they adopted SegWit, they could save on fees. They could literally save on fees. But they've chosen to pump and dump, inside trade Bitcoin Cash and potentially add more coins. The rumor is Ripple. The rumor is Monero. The rumor is what else? Dash. So there's rumors of Dash being added, Monero and Ripple being added to Coinbase and GDAX. But if you think about it, if there is inside trading, right? If they're inside trading, think about the coins that have gone up in value: Ripple, Dash, and Monero has gone up in value quite a bit. But the two most likelihood, all right, is Ripple and Dash. They've gone up quite a bit significantly, and so could these rumors be true that they're going to add Ripple and Dash? Probably. It sounds like it. It sounds like a lot of inside trading going on. So wouldn't surprise me that if you saw Dash and Ripple and Monero being added in the future to Coinbase. I think they're desperate to make money on trading because the fees and the transactions are killing them. So they're most likely going to draw you in with Bitcoin, but eventually when you get there, you're going to be pushed to Ripple, Dash, Litecoin, Ethereum, Monero. Sounds familiar, right? Free Skillshare Media. Welcome to the chat. Well, you know, I think you know, there's a risk whenever you have your Bitcoins on a third-party exchange. Let me go back here to the live chat here. He says they are 21 million says they are doing inside trading. They are doing insider trading. They may end up like Madoff. I don't know about that, but I do think they do have insider trading. And Roger Ver did tweet that there's nothing illegal about insider trading when it comes to currencies and commodities. And since these are technically not securities, there's no inside trading per se. There may be some truth to it. And I do think there's insider trading. There's insider trading when it comes to securities. So in a cryptocurrency market, why wouldn't inside trading not happen? I think you have to be very, very foolish not to realize that insider trading is happening. It is happening. How can you play off that? How do you know? Like I said, the two cryptocurrencies that have gone up a lot, obviously it was Bitcoin Cash, gone up a lot. Obviously now that's being listed. What are the other cryptocurrencies that are just going up for no apparent reason? All right, just no apparent reason whatsoever. You're looking at Ripple, all right, and then Dash is also another one that can basically go up quite a bit. And so, and then Monero was rumored as well. So Monero has gone up quite a bit. There's been a lot of coins, but I think that's highly likely. So should you get your coins off of Coinbase? I would say yes. I would say yes. Because here's a couple reasons why. Obviously, if you don't control the private keys, they're not really your Bitcoin. That's the first thing. The third thing is Coinbase can shut down anytime, and you're stuck without any Bitcoins. All right, you're literally stuck with no Bitcoins whatsoever. And the third reason is because if you want to get any of these hard forks, Bitcoin, whatever, Bitcoin X, Bitcoin God, Bitcoin SegWit 2X hard fork, Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, you have to own the private keys. And if you play it right, you know, you can increase your Bitcoin amount. So So controlling your private keys gives you control over your Bitcoins. There's huge advantages. You can control the fees. Also, when you send out your Bitcoin, you're going to be charged a fee. I took out my Bitcoin when Coinbase was about to start charging fees for transactions, so I took all mine out. I think I had some left. Hey, Varen, how you doing? Good to see you. David Hamilton says, Fox Business posted Bitcoin plunges near 3-year low. Stocks closed slightly lower. Still hasn't corrected it. So yeah, it's amazing. The doom and gloom news out there. You could tell there's some kind of a poop and scoop. There's a lot of pooping going on with Bitcoin. People are trying to crap on Bitcoin, and I have a sneaky suspicion is because as soon as the mempool starts to clear out, just like the Greg Maxwell is indicating in his newsletter, not his newsletter, in the mailing list, as soon as the mempool starts clearing out, I bet there's going to be a lot of people who can then start, transacting like to the pennies to the dollar, right? Like before we got into this whole, mempool situation, I was doing, transactions using Coinbase, and I was literally sending 1 Satoshi per byte. 1 Satoshi per byte. Even occasionally a little bit less, but basically 1 or 2 Satoshis per byte. I was literally paying 1 penny per transaction, literally. And then I tried batching as well, and I was averaging about 1 penny per transaction. And so, and I was sending out 600 Satoshis. I was donating here and there. I was testing it out. I think some of you in the chat received some donations from me. And so when we get back to that, we'll probably start, the price will start, the price will probably start picking up, because I believe this is a poop and scoop strategy. People are dumping on Bitcoin, crapping on Bitcoin, and most likely it's to drive down the price. And some of you may be enjoying the price right now and picking up some if you can. And I bet you there's a lot of people who sold up at the top that are probably buying back in, getting a lot more Bitcoin. DD8209, you are very, very, very anal. That's all I can say. Hey, Bothead, how you doing? Yeah, you're right. Nobody knows exactly where the market is going, but you can probably take a very, very good educated guess. And there's a lot of information out there that could help you, that can help you know where the market is going. At least have an educated guess. And Mr. Lordex, yes. Don't trust third parties. Exodus Wallet is you kind of own the private keys, but I don't like Exodus myself. I rather really control the private keys, and I rather control it offline. Anyways, let me go back to this here. So let's go. What's the next one here? Okay, hold on. Before I go to that, let's go on to this news right here. Okay, so the next news is SegWit 2x to be reborn in coming weeks ahead. Now, I've done a update on all the forks, and all the forks. The last time there was SegWit 2x by BitPico. That's disappeared. That's gone. That hasn't happened. There was a SegWit 2x by, let me see, what was it? SegWit 2m.org. That site is gone. Actually, that site returned. That site did return, ironically. That site did come back. If you remember when I did the update, the SegWit 2mx, I think, SegWit SegWit2m.org disappeared. Well, that's come back. But there's another SegWit, SegWit2x to be reborn in coming weeks. You heard it right. There is another SegWit2x. Let's go over it real quick. Let me see here. So here it is, SegWit2x on block 501451, which is on the date of December 28th. There's another one. So here we go. Here's a quote. Let's just read it real quick for you. It says, commission and transaction speed within the blockchain network has reached extraordinary values. It is almost impossible to use as a means of payment. This is a quote from, I guess, the founder. Our team will carry out the Bitcoin hard fork, which was planned for mid-November. At the same time, trading of its futures has been carried out on some exchanges for a long time. BTC is among them. I promise that all Bitcoin holders will receive not only B2X in the ratio 1-to-1, but also a proportional number of Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin as a reward, excuse me, as a reward for their commitment to progress. JAP or YAP, sounds French or Dutch or Danish, whatever. Jaap Thurlow, founder of the project. And so let's take a look at some of the features here. They're going to use X11 for their mining algorithm. Block generation is going to be 2.5 minutes. A recalculation of complexity after each block. So their difficulty is going to readjust after each block, I'm assuming. Block size increase up to 4 megabyte, replay protection, and then it will have a unique address format. Okay, not so unfriendly. Seems they're trying to be friendly. So these are some of the features they plan on having. So it looks like they got some futures launch date, and then looks like the 28th of December to 2017 is the fork, and they're going to have offline codes. I'm assuming that means they're just not going to publish their code. It's not going to be open. Lightning Network, Z-Snarks, smart contracts, anonymous transactions. Man, you know, it seems like everybody who's forking Bitcoin has the same roadmap. And here are the team members. All right. So here's Jaap. This is Jaap Thurlow. And this looks kind of like European, kind of Chinese. It's kind of like the Europeans and the Chinese kind of came together and came up with this idea. Donna Hughes, business developer, and then I don't know who this guy is, Robert Szabo. I wonder if this guy's like the brother of Nick Szabo. Is he related to Nick Szabo? Is that why they have him here? This is probably why they have someone, like, instead of having like someone famous like Nick Szabo, they have someone like named, that shares a last name. I think in the future where you have these hard forks, like when Ethereum has a new ICO, one of the team members is going to be like, I don't know, Igor Vitalik or something. Somebody who's not related to Vitalik but has the same name as Vitalik, or maybe his father, or maybe his brother, or maybe one of his cousins will be on the team just because they share the same last name or something. So that's going to be like the new thing now. I'm waiting for somebody who's actually named Satoshi Nakamoto, whose real name is Satoshi Nakamoto. Like, could you imagine Dorian Nakamoto being on one of these? Like, on one of these forked Bitcoins, Dorian Nakamoto is going to be a team member. That'd be something. And then they could say, you know, Satoshi Nakamoto is a part of the team. So here are their partners. HitBTC. Looks like you can trade on HitBTC. they're going to be participating. Hit BTC is like just all over the place. They'll trade anything. I mean, they'll trade your mom. If your mom's tradable, they'll trade your mom. Yobit. It looks like they're going to be on Yobit, the crappiest of the crap coin exchange. X rates. Zoo Miner. I think that might be one of their mining pools or mining farms. And then localtrade.pro. I've never heard of that, but I'm sure it's sounds like what it is. So they're trying to do local trading. And it looks like they put a lot of effort and money into being in the media, Yahoo Finance, Crypto Coins News, Fork Log, which recently I think Fork Log was raided by the Ukrainian Secret Service. Lib Bitcoin News, Coinist, News BTC, FX Empire, Portal do Bitcoin. This looks Spanish, so this may be Spanish. I mean by European. Crypto Ninjas, Crypto Tendencia, Spanish looking. This looks Spanish. Crypto mining. So and there's a little bit of Russian in here, and I don't know. Maybe is that Greek? So there you go. And then they have 2 telegrams, Facebook and Twitter, so you guys can check it out. So here is the newest of the SegWit. This is the SegWit here, SegWit 2X. So there you go. And then so there's that article here. It talks about SegWit 2X. This is in the note section, so you can check it out. Another one I want to check out is the other SegWit. Let me see here. SegWit 2. SegWit, let me see, 2M org. I wonder if this is it. SegWit2m.org. I'm going to try it out. This could be, I'll have to look at my other older, yeah, this is not found. I think it's not found anyway. Let me check it out. Hold on. Here, let me go in the notes section of my other videos and see what was it called? It was bitcoin2m.org, sorry. Bitcoin2m. Bitcoin2m.org. Let's see, is it loading? Yes, it's loading. Okay, they're back. Originally, they were gone. They disappeared. Now they're back. SegWit 2X. So here's another SegWit 2X. I don't even know. This is originally I had this in the notes section. It was bitcoin2m.org. I went over it. Now they're back, and then they got this weird looking thing here. So I don't know what they're doing. Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh goodness. Former development team. They just look like they literally just took pictures off the internet and just put them on there. Former company advisors. I think this is fake. They don't give a block height. There's no block height. There's no nothing. There's no time frame. They have the block height of the original hard fork, but that's about it. They don't have any actual block heights. So this is a dud. I think this is a dud. This SegWit 2X is a dud, and I think this SegWit 2X is most likely real. And we'll find out on the 28th. So we're going to find out really soon whether this is real or not. So that's that. So anyways, let's go see what's in the live chat here before I go on here. Let's see what you all have to say. Looks like I have to refresh this here. Hold on. Oh, it's going to refresh itself. Good. Let's see here. What are all of you saying? Uh, 21 million, you say that website is fake. Fake AF. Yeah, I think it's fake because when I first looked at it, it was there. And then when I looked at it again, it was gone. And now it's reappeared. And so, yeah, it's most likely very, very fake. You're right. It's 21 million. So, all right, let's, okay, so let me go over how do you, let me see, I'm going to go to Coinbase. Okay, Coinbase. And if you own your private keys, this is pretty much how you're going to be able to reduce your fees. You just go into transactions here. All right, transactions. And then you put in just an address. I don't have an address right now, but it shows your inputs and your outputs. And so let me see. Do I have an actual address to put in? Let me see. Nope. I don't. Well, might have my SegWit address. Let's use my SegWit address. Hold on. Sorry, I don't want that. Okay, here. So I got the SegWit address. Here, I'll use my SegWit address. Well, you know what? That's going to require a redeem script, so it's not going to work. I need a redeem script for this. I'll put it in. Let's see what it says. I need a redeem script. Gosh. Anyways, I don't have an address on hand right now. But if you put in your address and you load it, it'll give you all your inputs and outputs. Let me see. What can I do? Let me. We could just go to blockchain info real quick. Let's go to blockchain info real quick. You can grab anybody's. Well, let me grab one of mine then. Here's a donational address. Here's one of my donational addresses. Here, let's go to my donation address. I think this is one of my donation addresses. Wow, this used to be a couple $100, but this is my donational address. And then let me just copy the address here. And then let me put this in here. I'll show you an example. So it's loading. Okay, so here's an example of what you can do. So here's all my inputs. These are all the donations I've gotten from other people. These are all the inputs. These are the amounts in Satoshis right here, or Bitcoins if you have enough Bitcoins. And so if you use this site, you can probably batch your transactions. So you just keep adding. You keep adding. I could just keep adding. I'm going to add to myself. The important one, the important address is the last address, or one of these addresses. You want to go back to your address because you want it to come back. So these are the outputs. And essentially, I got so many inputs. I don't know how many inputs I got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 13 outputs. I have 13 inputs. So it's going to be quite a bit. What the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure the amount of Bitcoin, let me see here, 0.12345. Yeah, I think that'll allow me to do that. So I'm just putting in an address. Now the last one, you want to put in this amount here minus the fee. So you want to put, let's say you want to put in let me see. Let's just say, gee, I don't know how many bytes per fee, but let's just say I want to put in 917,689 satoshis for my fee. So I would just take that out, and if you look here, that's my fee. So this amount right here is going to return back into my address, which is up here, right? That's my address. So that's the return. This is gonna. I know I put all of the same address, but just imagine all of these being a different address. So this is how you batch them. So if you use your Bitcoin quite often, you can batch it this way and send to like different addresses. Make sure the last address is your address. That way it goes back into you, and that way you pay this small fee. If you don't have it, guess what? You're going to be paying. That's your fee right there. You're going to be paying, like, people end up paying like 50 Bitcoins, which is ridiculous. So make sure that's the only thing about this. And if you do this, it will say like you're spending way too much on fees. Are you sure? So don't worry. It's gonna be like it will give you a warning. Yes, DD8209. This is my address. This is my donational address. People gave me like $1.50. If you want to take a look at it, let me see. My first donation. My first donation was 90 cents. 90 cents, and it's worth $13 now. Here's another one. It was a $2.50 donation. It's worth $37. Here's another one, $2.50, $37. Let me see. This was almost a $5 donation. It's worth almost $70. How much? This was a $1 donation. It's worth $13.59. So if you think about it, this is when was it? This was January. No, this was February. February the 1st, 2017. This was a $5 donation. So this is when Bitcoin was about $1,000. This is $1. So it was an increase of 1,300%, almost 1,300%, over 1,300%. Another $2.49 donation at the time, $29.55 now. This one is okay. This was, I think, I put this in here. I think this was like giveaways. Like a lot of YouTubers were giving away Bitcoin. So I had like several different giveaways that I won. At the time, it was $26.33. It's worth $327.19 now. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, this was the last transaction I got from Coinbase. All right, this was the last transaction I got from Coinbase. And this was, it was at the time, it was worth $80.61. This was the right before the potential hard fork. This was like Jihan Wu was threatening to fork, and so Coinbase said, hey, there may be a fork, so take your Bitcoins out if you want to control your private keys. That's what I did. I had about $80.61 on Coinbase at the time, and that's pretty much, it's worth $994. Let me see what other ones here. Someone donated 95 cents to me at the time. Now it's worth $13.70. This was, I think this was $17.17. Okay, I'm sorry. This one was the giveaways that I won, and this one right here, I signed up for Circle way long time ago, and this is when they were giving $10 away. They were giving $10 worth of Bitcoin. This is back when they were dealing with retail people, retail customers. They stopped doing that. Once they stopped doing that, and they announced that they'll no longer do that, I went in. I took my $10 at the time. The price went up. It was worth $26.33. I took it out and put it into my donation address. Now it's worth $323. And so let me see this one. Yeah, okay. What's this one? Let me see. I think this was, oh gosh, who was that guy? It was another YouTuber who was giving away Bitcoins, and he was giving away 10 Bitcoins. He was showing the private key in his video. I got $10 worth. And I think he also, if you were the first to make a comment with your private key, he would send $10. Now it's worth $122. Another one he did another giveaway, same guy. I forgot his name. What was this? I forget his name. But he sent me another $10. Now it's worth $109. And this one was okay. So this is another giveaway. This was from Ken Bozak. He made a video and he exposed the mnemonic seed to his Exodus when he was doing an Exodus wallet review. And nobody like would take these. It's amazing. So I tell him, nice video. He messaged me back and said, hey, there's some Bitcoins in for you if you want to take it. I took it at the time. It was $5. Now it's worth $16.51. So yeah, this is my donational address. At one point, it was literally worth only a couple, maybe $800, maybe $700. Now it's worth, even with the price drop, it's worth $2,000. It's amazing. So if you want to donate to me personally, here is my donational address. I'll take $1. I'll take 95 cents. I'll take 90 cents. The price will just keep going up. I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed by this. So anyways, let's go back to this here. So yeah, this is one way where you can, well, first of all, let me submit here. What it does, it'll generate the transactions. So you see the transaction, and then here you see the bytes. So if you want to do 1 byte per Satoshi, what you want to do right now, my fee is 0. So if I did like 2 Satoshis per byte or 1 Satoshi per byte, I would put in about a $1,200 fee. That would be like, let me see, 5. So I'll put a 2,000 Satoshi fee. So that's, as you see right here, it says 2,000. So you could batch it up like that. If I wanted to do 2. Now, whether the transaction will go or not, I'm not sure. I don't think it will go. I think you probably have to be at least 10 Satoshis per byte, which would put this about 1,100, about 1,100. So in that case, let me put this back in here, 7. And I'd have to figure out 1,100. So this would be a 0. And this would have to be maybe a 5. So I put 12,000 Satoshis in there as a fee. If I did 10, 10 times 1,100, it would be 11,000. So I'm at 12,000 Satoshis. So that'd be 10 Satoshis per byte, which, I don't know, that'd be like 2 or 3 cents. And you could try your transaction out way, and you can batch them. So if you think about it, it'll come out to be about, let me see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 transactions. 8 divided by 1,100. That's about 900 bytes, maybe 900 bytes. No, it should be more than that. Anyways, my problem is that I have a lot of inputs. So if you look at this, there's a lot of inputs on this that adds to the transaction as well. That's the problem. Another thing you can do is if you have a lot of inputs and you don't want it to just decide for you, you can decide like which input you want to spend. So you can actually, you can actually take out and say, I just want to use this one right here. And so I'm going to spend this 100,000 Satoshi, and that's the one I'm going to spend. And then you can just pick the ones that you want to spend as well. So that's one way. Another way is when you generate a address. When you generate an address, pick the compressed form. If you don't pick the compressed form, it adds to the byte size. So if you pick a compressed, let me just generate, and I'll just show this. This private key is a compressed address and compressed private key. If it was not compressed, let me see, I'll generate another one. It starts with a 5, and you can see the public key is really long. So that's if you use a compressed address, you see the public key is very small, and it starts with a K or a 5. It starts with a K or an L. It doesn't start with the 5. So that's another way you can save on your fees, because it eventually lowers the byte size. It will lower the byte size. This transaction, raw transaction, will be compressed smaller. If that helps, if that gives you an idea. All right. So, anyways, since we're here, let's go check out Salome. Salome.io. And while that's loading, let's see what the chat is saying. Let's see here. What are you all saying here? Client Shizbig says, for using a bit address properly, you need to download the site on your desktop, shut the internet down after that, and then create the paper wallet to be secure. Creating a paper wallet online is risky. Yes, that is correct. When you generate your paper wallets, do them offline. What I do is I will I usually will save the website as a page on my desktop. I would take that page, or I would download from the GitHub, one or the other, and then I would put it on a USB stick, and then I would transfer it onto a new laptop or a refurbished laptop, newly installed operating system. If you really want to go crazy, you could set up a Linux operating system or some other operating system within the operating system, and then from there you can generate the private keys. I have a computer that's never, well, I wouldn't say never, but is not online. All right, it holds my private key, and the batteries are taking out. So you literally have to plug it in, give it power, turn it on, and when it turns on, it does not connect to the internet, and I've generated my private keys on that computer. And so, and from there, you could do one or two things. You can, write down your private keys, like physically write down, or to make it easy, I just take a picture of it, then I could write it down later. And what I do is I don't like keep it in a super duper lockdown place in one location. What I do is I hide it, right? I hide it in all different places. I hide it in a picture. I use stenography. I hide it in a picture. I hide it in, I think 21 Million Club, you did one where you hide it in a music file. I also have it all over the place. I have it in, it's basically hidden in plain sight. And so, and also in different location. And so I don't have it just in one place. I have it in many places where I can get access to, where I know where it is. and it could be in an obvious place. You just don't know. Like if you've seen like the office I'm in an office in my house. It's a mess. You would never think that any of this stuff might be worth millions of dollars, but a, a paper laying around in an obvious place that looks like trash could be a part of a private key, right? A USB stick laying around. I don't really have a USB stick laying around, but you could have a USB stick in another location. I could have a SIM card in another location. I could have multiple computers in different locations, and they could be encrypted, and only I know where the file is. So in that case, you know, that's more secure than trying to have it all in one place that's secure, because that one place is the central point of failure, in my opinion. And then what is free Skillshare made you say Coinbase Coinbin is safe to use? I agree. It is safe to use, and you could save it as a web page, and from there use it offline. You do need to go online to get the inputs and outputs, but once you do that, you can go offline. You can generate the raw transactions and sign for it, and then go back online, and then of course broadcast your transactions, and it works great. It works really well if you learn how to use it. And then, you know, a lot of these are just tools, and they're tools that help me learn how to use how to use this in a way that is most beneficial for me. I don't rely on the software per se. I do rely on the software, but I know how to, you know, it helps me learn more about it. Let me see, what else are you all saying here? Keep them on the legacy wallet. So legacy wallets don't use SegWit addresses. Yeah, legacy wallets don't use SegWit addresses. I think there's another form of SegWit address, like the Bec32 format, which I'm not really familiar with. But yeah, so but you know, it seems like a lot of the wallet providers haven't quite adopted SegWit. I think Samurai Wallet and some of Trezor wallets are adopting SegWit, but you know, and you can generate SegWit wallets on Coinbin. Let me see if I can. Oh, I already changed it. Sorry. But yeah, you can generate SegWit wallets on Coinbin. Plex AMS, you say you use BitKey. It's awesome. If you paid for a hardware wallet, you wasted a lot of money. I agree, Plex ASM, because you know, hardware wallets are nothing more than wallet generators, you know, for the most part on a hardware. And really, you just need the wallet generator, and you can create as many private keys and many public keys and many addresses that you want. And even buying multiple hardware wallets is kind of stupid, because you really need one hardware wallet. You just need one hardware wallet, and that will generate a billion wallets, or as many wallets as you want, right? You're just generating the mnemonic seed for the most part, and then that just generates the wallet. And then you just, you know, that's why I use offline, mostly paper wallets, concept of the paper wallet, because in the end, you just have your Trezors, your hardware wallets, your nanos, your ledgers, your whatever you have that's a hardware wallet. They're just generators. They just generate the public and private keys and the mnemonic seeds, and that's it. You can actually just, after you generate it, you just write it down. Typically, they have the mnemonic seed, and you just write down the mnemonic seed. Voila, that's your wallet. That really is your wallet. You can create another wallet. You just create another mnemonic seed on the same device, and you write down that on another piece of paper. There's your second wallet. Why people buy like 4 or 5 different wallets is like beyond me. literally you are just buying a wallet generator, which you can get free online. You can get free from the GitHub. And they work and they're safe, right? They've been looked at and tested and proven to be safe. So, anyways, let's go to Salome.io. So let's go to Salome.io and let's check out what's here. All right. So what is hot these days? Let's see. Edgeless seems to be hot, trending. Nebello. I don't even know what Nebello is. Singularity Net. ICOs, man. NXT seems to be hot on Twitter. Referium ICO token seems to be trending. Bitcoin's trending. What is it saying about Bitcoin? Look how many likes it has. It has over 10,000 likes, 2,800 retweets. What's it saying? It's saying your MCM out here losing hair, about stressed as shiz at the thought of Bitcoin plummeting. Meanwhile, I'm out this beach getting an extra $25 off my next purchase at Kohl's because I invested in Kohl's cash, man. I've been told, y'all, to wake up and invest while you still can. Interesting. Oh, goodness. Let me see. Let me go back to the chat. Looks like chat has some words from me here. Client Shizbig says, you say hardware wallets is as secure as USB. How do you guarantee safety without keyloggers? We lately offended even standard software HP, which include keyloggers, are easy toast. I'm not sure what you're trying to say at the end. Client Shizbig, I'm not saying hardware wallets are as secure as USB sticks. What I'm trying to say is hardware wallets are nothing more than, in my opinion, I'm sure they are secure, they are safe, they're manufactured in a way that are safe. But from the alternatives out there that's available, right? You can probably do things without buying $100 hardware wallet. So I guess I don't know. It depends. It depends. Like I'd rather buy a computer and just turn off the internet connection to it, take out the battery, right? And so I only know that it runs on batteries, or it runs on a power connection. It has batteries, but I've taken it out, and I just want to, I'd rather get more value buying a computer that I can also use as a computer, that I can use as other stuff, right? I can actually play games on it if I wanted to, but I mainly use it just to generate my hardware wallet, or not my hardware wallet, my private keys, right? Just generate wallets, and then that's all I use it for. So it has multi-purpose, versus buying something that's very niche and very specific, which essentially to me is a glorified USB. All right, it's basically it's a hardware, and within the hardware there is software on there, and that software generates your wallets, your private keys, right? Your pub key, your private key, and your addresses, and that's about what it does. The wallet itself, I mean, it depends. Like, I would rather waste my money on actually just buying a computer, because the software I get, is open source. And yes, I am taking a risk, but so far it seems to be working out. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are keyloggers, but the wallets that I generate them on a computer do not touch the internet. All right. When they're not in use, I take the batteries are out and I unplug it, and that's, you know, it never gets compromised in that way. So even if maybe it did have a keylogger, it won't have a chance to ever send that information out. So I'm not saying they're as secure as USB. I'm just saying hardware wallets seem to be like a USB stick to me. That's all I'm saying. And Plex AMS, you say Brain Wallet is pretty cool for generating your own keys. Yeah, if you make it long enough, that's the thing. Brain wallets, you got to make it long enough. I think brain wallets are nothing more than mnemonic seeds anyway. But you can generate your custom brain wallet, and I don't recommend it because people try to hack those. I mean, they literally just come up with simple words. Try to use like 24 words on your mnemonic seeds. If you use a brain wallet, use a very long, many word phrase. Okay, let me see. Richie Rich, welcome to the chat. You're saying hardware wallets are nothing but fractional reserves of paper wallets. Well, you know, Richie Rich, this is the crazy stuff. I see people buying like 4 or 5 like Trezors. You don't need to buy 4 or 5 Trezors. You just need to buy one, because that is essentially a wallet generator. You just generate, you know, your mnemonic seed. You write it down on a piece of paper. Done. That is your wallet. And after that, you can just start another, you know, do another mnemonic seed, start it over again, and then boom, you have 2 wallets. And you know, one Trezor will create an infinite amount of wallets. Why do people waste their money when they could be buying Bitcoin instead of buying a glorified USB? Now, I don't have a problem with Trezor. I don't have a problem with Ledger. If people want to buy that stuff, that's fine with me. But I think people just have a misconception of how wallets are generated. All right, they are random. What can I say? They're cryptographically randomizing your generate. How can I say this? They just generate private keys based on the SHA-256 algorithm. All right, I believe that's what they do, and so that's all you're doing. You just have to all you do. All right, all you do is just add randomness, enough randomness to make it very difficult to crack, you know, the key generation. All right, so it's probabilistic. So basically, if somebody wanted to, they could try to crack your keys, but essentially at this moment in time, I believe it would take a very long time, and the chances of actually successfully doing it, a person would be dead, or would be very old, or it would take too long to do it. It wouldn't be worth trying to do it. So instead of wasting your money and your time trying to crack the keys, why not just you know, be honest and, you know, go buy some Bitcoin for yourself. So let me see. It says, Will Campbell, you asked, do you put that laptop in an EMP bag just in case? No, I don't. Let me see. How I do put it in a safe. I do put it in a safe, and I do have other. I do also have the my other stuff in other format. It's just not my only one. Essentially, what I do is I take something and I put that all over the place, like literally all over. The best security, ironically, is not like putting it in one central location and having it there. In my opinion, with private keys and cryptography, it's the best security is to have it hidden in plain sight everywhere. All right, the key, all right, is in your head. The knowledge in your head is probably the safest place that you can put it. And so you could have some backups like in other locations, but don't put it all in one place, is what I'm trying to say. I learned that the hard way when the hurricane came by recently. I forgot what it was called, but I realized my flaw in having all my backups in my house was that it was in my house, and I shouldn't have it all my backups in my house. I should have it, everywhere, in different locations. And the thing is, it's not easily accessible, or nobody knows about it except me, or maybe my wife. But that may be a compromise situation as well. But that's the chance you take. So um, as far as the EMP bag, I guess you could put it in some kind of static electric bag, but it's in a metal safe, and I think the metal safe should keep it from getting zapped. You can make a little. It's kind of like a Faraday cage. So technically, yeah, but the computer is off. The laptop is off, and so if there was an EMP blast, it would not be affected. Hello, Crypto Cotter. How you doing? And let me see what else is. So just use a wallet generator on a computer. They will never be online. Yeah, free Skillshare Media. That's it. Pretty much just be a wallet. Just use a wallet generator and never be online. Or if you want to buy a ledger, if you want to buy a tracer or a digital beatbox, you just have to buy one. Okay, just buy one, and that one hardware device will generate an infinite amount of wallets for you. All right, you don't have to buy 4, you don't have to buy 5 or 6 or 10. That's just utterly serious. I mean, not serious. That's utterly ridiculous. It's like you bought like five cars. You bought 5 of the same cars, same color, same everything. I mean, would you drive a car for Wednesday and didn't drive the other car on Tuesday and Thursday, and then drive this car, the same car? No, you buy one car and you drive it every day, going to different places. Same thing with your hardware wallet. Just buy one hardware wallet. All right, if you don't want to put in the work of getting a free wallet generator and putting it on your computer, you could buy one hardware wallet, and then you just generate an infinite amount of keys, right? Or infinite amount of wallets. And they're usually in the mnemonic seeds. So let me see here. So client Shizbig says, if you look into keyloggers, you can have your internet connected even offline. The keylogger sends pics of desktop and any keyboard tip later at the next common internet connection. Yes, that is correct. That's why I don't when I generate a wallet, I use this computer, or the computer that I have, very specific, just for generating my wallets. So it never touches the internet. Never touches the internet. It's been refurbished, and yeah. So and then on top of that, I have, once I generate it, I essentially load it on different devices, and they're storage devices, and then on top of that, you can always, as well as write down the private key, or write down the mnemonic seed, and then again, you could put it in such obvious, strange places all over the place that only your mind is like the ultimate safe. So but if you die, you took it with you, but you might have a backup. You can let other people know that you trust, but mainly, yeah, trust no one. Yes, Merch, you're right. The glorified USB might be better for the masses. Paper money, okay. Mr. Lord Drex, James Bond can't trust anybody. No, it's hard for me to trust. You know, when you've been in this cryptocurrency space and you kind of been screwed over by the people you trade with, you've been screwed over by people you know, and they know you. Even family members will screw you over. It's amazing, and they may think it's okay because you're family. That's the crazy part. So yeah, you know, it's just you know, I've just gone through so much stuff that it's hard to really trust anyone these days. You know, um, people just do weird things. When you give people the opportunity to take advantage of you, they will. That's just the nature of humans, I guess. Crypto Carter, you say good, James Bond. Thanks. Glad to hear your voice when I'm zoning on charts once again. So, all right. Well, thank you for all your comments. I hope you like this kind of format where I'm talking to you and you can see your chats live. Anyways, let's go back to where am I? Okay, let's go back to the list. Let's get rid of my donational address. Feel free to donate. I really appreciate it. Let's see if anybody did. Probably didn't. Yeah, no one donates. Hardly anyone donates anymore. The fees are just too high. Okay, so let me see. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go over the mempool. Let's go over the mempool. All right, we'll go over the mempool right here. All right, so it looks like the fees are going down, as you can see here. So yeah, the fees are going down, and it looks like as the newsletter, as the mailing list from Greg Maxwell is stating that the fees are, you know, the flooding of the spamming of the network, the mempool is, you know, they're eventually going to run out of money, and you just let the blocks get added into the blockchain, and all the mempool will eventually go down. And it looks like that's what you're seeing. Eventually, it's going down. Looks like you probably still need to be in the 500 plus, maybe 500 and under, maybe 400 to 500 satoshis per byte to get it into the block. Right now, 300 satoshis per byte has over 32,000 transactions, but looks like it's getting eaten down slowly but surely, and it's working its way through. It's right now the total of 100 and almost 170 transactions in the mempool. But I think with the lower price and everything, it probably may, you know, when the price is lower, there's seems to be less demand, quote unquote. And so if that's the case, then the mempool is probably going to be eaten here, and hopefully it'll go back to nothing. And when it does, take the opportunity to consolidate your inputs and outputs. All right. Take that opportunity to consolidate all your inputs and outputs into one output, all your inputs into one output. And that way, when you transact next time, it'll be a lot cheaper in bytes. You'll have less bytes. And if you want, I guess if you want to go into a SegWit address, you can. But you know, SegWit addresses really depend on a lot of people using them and understanding how to use them. If anything, go to a compressed address. All right, go into a compressed format. So that should also help you with your fees. That basically creates more room in your transaction. So less bytes, and then that equates to less satoshis per byte. That means lower fees. So, all right. So let me just go back to the chat. Let's see what you're all saying now. Let me see. It's taking a while. It's all right. Here we go. Let me see. Merch Studios. You say, why in the world would you trust anyone with something that can be stolen right in front of your face? You're right. But I'm sure you have some loved ones, right? I mean, there's some. Not that people are all bad. Some people are. There are a lot of bad actors out there, but I'm sure you have some loved ones where people don't see you as an opportunity or don't see you as a money. They see you as a person and they truly love you. There are people that are like that. They're not interested in how much money you make, or they don't see you as an opportunity to make money. So those are the people that I want to be with, because life is better when you're around those type of people, the people who truly love you. Mr. Lord X1, James Bond, the always gets so dark. I do. I get dark because I'll tell you a couple reasons why. Not that I intentionally get dark. I did go through a severe depression when I was younger. I did not get any help or any medication for it. I just, and I didn't realize I was depressed, a severe depression. I couldn't understand why I was down. And this is when I was just about 21, really severe depression. Before that, in my childhood, I had a home invasion happen, and had a gun pointed to my head during that robbery, the home invasion, and was tied up basically. No one got hurt, but it was a very traumatic experience. And and in some ways, I guess I was kind of picked on when I was a child as well, because I was very small. And so the experience that I've experienced, and it wasn't always like that, but, and I'm sure everybody else has that kind of similar experience once in a while. But I've learned one thing is that um, people will do very bad things if you were given the opportunity to do it. And so either you do it either through force or through I wouldn't say force, but when it came down to your life or someone else's life, you're going to protect your life and you'll do whatever it takes for you to survive. And so it does come down to some kind of force survival. You will do the most heinous things when it comes to your survival. And I've seen that happen. The other part is I've seen people do things by choice. In other words, they choose to do harm to others, and because it benefits them. There's some benefit into a choice of doing harm to others, either some gratification or an economic advantage that it gives you. So and plus I've seen people intimidate and also stalk me to a certain degree, and these people, I have to say, it's scary that there's people out there that will do that just for who you are, what you believe in, or even what you say. People will stalk you to do harm to you. So I wasn't always this dark. I wasn't always this dark at times, but after a while, you have these life experiences, and then you don't want to be a victim again. You don't want to be a repeat victim. So you have to consider all the bad things that happen to prevent being victimized, unfortunately. So, and yeah, you have to go dark. So I always think about the worst possibilities. Ironically, I'm probably very optimistic in reality, because I think about all the dark and bad possibilities that can happen in life, and I try to survive those possibilities. I try to avoid those possibilities. So I'm actually an optimist, but I'm just a pessimistic optimist, if that makes sense. So, and 90% of passwords get hacked by people you know, statistics say. Interesting. Band-Aids, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Emerge Studios, you say, yeah, I like your stories and personal rants. Well, thank you. You and Ozzy not cool anymore. Saw your last show. Oh yeah, yeah. Ozzy got into a little rant with me, Band-Aids, and you know I was watching one of his live streams, and he was basically pumping. He was pumping coins. He didn't know anything about these coins. Like I think he's joined a group of people, and I know some of these people, and they're I don't know what it is, but I think they're part of a group. They're probably on Steemit as well. But he's pretty much joined a group that are a bunch of altcoin pump and dumpers, and all they do is they support each other, watching their own videos, linking their own videos, promoting their own each other and everything. Watching, they don't even watch their own videos. They just kind of just click on the video and then exit. But he got very angry at me, and he started talking all this crap and everything, and he blocked me from his video. And ever since then, I told him he has to go. He needs to go his own way. I can't. After someone rants and talks so much crap about you, just for asking simple questions like, why are you pumping coins? Are you? And the way he got offended made it seem like admission of guilt. Like you know how when you catch somebody red-handed, like in the act, and they don't like want to admit that they were like guilty of pumping coins or basically following. He was following a crowd that were basically I think pump and dumpers. He's joined a group of pump and dumpers, and then he started getting into ICOs and everything. And he started ranting about how you know some people just they like talking about all the great success and good they do, right? Because it's part of what they want to show as the front. But in reality, it's really for selfish reasons a lot of times. And so he's gone sideways, a lot. And he thinks he's a godfather of Bitcoin, which is a joke. Yeah, we're not cool anymore at all. No, there's a reason why I try to keep people at a distance, because it takes, put it this way, unless you're willing to have sex with me, right? Unless you're willing to have my child and children, I'm probably not going to trust you. I don't know what to say, but that's about it. Okay, Plex AM James, the people spamming the network are probably 40 to 50% of the blocks. I don't think they're going to run into money problems, especially since they're making money off of BCH as well. Yeah. Marvin Dunn, what's up? How you doing? You smoked weed, though. You're good. Well, Band-Aids, I think a lot of people have done illegal drugs in America. This is the irony, or the open. This is the open secret in America, is that most Americans have probably done some illegal drug or make illegal drugs, or have create or have a create an income from illegal drugs, or perhaps from doing some illegal activity. That's the irony of this whole thing. Whether it's money laundering, whether it's supporting the drug industry, or maybe being in the sex trade, you'll be surprised how many of now I don't know how many of you are married, but you may be shocked how many of your wives have been in the sex trade at some point in their life. Not I'm not saying everyone, but when you really look at life and you really go out there and experience a lot of things, you start really kind of seeing what really happens out there. Sorry about that here, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. You've been enjoying your commentary and thoughts lately. It's all right. I've talked about it in my videos before. I talked about how I had a home invasion one time, and uh, that's why I'm really into guns and self-defense, and that's another reason why I'm paranoid a lot of times. Ever since I've been into Bitcoin, I always feel like people are targeting me, both like perhaps law enforcement and as well as nefarious actors. And so, and it feels that way. It really does. You know, when you get that eerie feeling like someone's trying to target you, either to take your money or to do harm to you, uh, when you get that feeling, and I have been targeted even where I live. I've been singled out, and my property has been vandalized. And so when you see the and then I caught the person that did it on camera too. And ironically, it's a neighbor. They're not here anymore. They were renting a home around us, and they're gone now. So it happens. You know, when things like this happen, you know that it's a part of life and it's reality. It's scary. It's scary what people will do. I mean, and even some of the things that I do, like some of the things that I think about doing, like have you like it's not common. I guess maybe it is common, but you'll think about killing people. You'll even think about doing harm to others because you feel a certain outrage that it's the world against you to some degree. I'm not saying this all the time, but you'll be surprised the thoughts that go in your mind. And yeah, it gets kind of scary and it gets dark. Oh, Band-Aids. Band-Aids, you say you saw him pumping Regal coin, kind of stopped watching him. Yeah, he even admits that Regal coin was a mistake now. You know, Ozzy is kind of like he's a noob. He's a noob, and you know, I think he's an. I wouldn't say he's a noob. I think he may be very successful as a normie. I call him a normie, like as a normal person who's not involved in the cryptocurrency space. He may be a noob. He's a successful as a normie, but when it comes to the cryptocurrency, he's a total noob. He's so far he's gotten his bank account closed. He's already lost some money on these ICOs, and then on top of that, he got into like mining. He thought he could make more money on mining, which turns out not the case. He spent more money on mining equipment than he did if he just kept his Bitcoin. So them sex coins. Oh goodness. Let me see. Get a new computer and move to Canada, James Bond. I really want to actually go to Canada and live there for a while. And I can claim that I live in another country. Not all the time. I also want to go to South America, DD 8209. You know, but I kind of, unfortunately, you know, I'm already married and I'm settled and I'm taking care of some children. I kind of have responsibilities, and unfortunately, I feel tied down quite a bit because of that. Because sometimes I feel like I could do a lot more. I feel like I could do a lot more if, you know, I know it's horrible to say this, but I feel like I could do a lot more if I wasn't um, married and tied down with children. You know, you have responsibilities when you're in that situation, and I don't want to be a, you know, kind of like a deadbeat dad or abandon my responsibilities. But it's sometimes I have to admit it's tempting. It's tempting to just say, you know, I want to do what I want to do now. I don't want to be used as a support for this marriage and for the welfare of the children and everything. You know, it's tempting to say that. You get tired, you get exhausted. I feel like as a man, I'm assuming that most of you are men, because 95, if not 99%, people who are involved in Bitcoin are men. You get overwhelmed with responsibility, uh, because because you're a man, you have to be responsible. It's kind of like the notion, and I feel like it's just sometimes it's too much. It's too much. I just rather be like by myself. You know, and then let me see. Uh, Plex AMS. I think Ozzy was pretending a bit to BitConnect crowd by refusing to say it's a scam, but all that does is increase the amount of idiots who watch you. Yeah, that surprised me too. Like he would never admit that it was a scam when it's kind of like really obvious. And the other thing was that he wouldn't admit. He said that in one of his videos that he would, if he was involved, he would never tell anybody that he was involved. Like he knew that it wasn't a good idea to be involved, but he was more interested in trying out to make more money out of it. So, David Hamilton, you want to go to Mexico? Well, I've been to Mexico. I've been to Tijuana. I don't know if that counts. The other part is I've been to Cancun. I'd really like to go to Belize and check out the Mayan. I don't know if it's the Mayan or the Incas pyramid, and they speak English there as official language. It's probably not any safer, but it's close to Cancun as well. I can travel around and maybe go into Cancun that way. And I think Belize is kind of kind of like a midway into the South American countries. Hey QBs08, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Family will slow you down, especially kids. Yeah, having a family is a responsibility, but the flip side is it's very rewarding. You know, you're you're building a family. You're building um, and family. I do admit your blood family, not your like relatives, but like the family you create, your children. You're creating a bloodline, and blood is thicker than water. So blood is sometimes very thicker than the strangers you meet in the real world, and you do get a sense of belonging and purpose, but it is quite a responsibility. You have to dedicate like a minimum 20 years of your life, 20 years of your life. So getting a second passport. You know what's funny is my children have dual citizenship, so they have two passports. So yeah, they can probably do whatever they want. And yeah, I know McAfee murdered his neighbor in Belize. Oh yeah, well, John McAfee's not allowed in Belize anymore. If he goes back there, he's definitely he's definitely going to be detained for the murder of his neighbor. The fact that he fled the country and did not, there's some admission of guilt on his part. And of course, I don't think he would ever admit to killing his neighbor, right? It's like you would never admit to it, right? But the fact that he fled the country and he's fleeing the country because he felt that he was being targeted by the corrupt government agents of Belize that were trying to shake him down. And he seemed to get into a precarious situation over there where he's always being shaken down or being extorted for money. So there's one way to solve that, and that's basically just avoid all these scenarios which would lead you to that kind of lifestyle. But I think John McAfee is he likes that. There's something about those things that he likes, and he lives that lifestyle. The fact that he lives this far, like 70, you know, I think it's just a matter of time before he starts pushing up some daisies just from old age. All right, let me. Sorry, I just went off on a huge tangent right there. But let's go back to let's go back to the trade block here. It's nice talking to all of you though. Yeah, you know, yeah, John McAfee's an interesting character. You know, he was definitely, I guess he claims he was being extorted, and you know, they're going after him for the money, and so apparently uh, he didn't want to give up $2 million, so he was framed for the murder of his neighbor. Um, okay, I mean, he never stood trial. He never went back. He was eventually forced deported back to the U.S., and that's why he's here right now to this day. He you know, and it wouldn't surprise me that he actually committed the murder and got away with it. Let me see here. The mempool is not showing up on block trade for some reason, but it looks like it's down to underneath 40,000 transactions in the mempool. So it looks like it is coming down. All right, so let's go and take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Before I get into this, let's just take a quick look. Well, it's back to $14,000. Man, did it take a dump here? I know some of you were all scared. So on Bitstamp, it only went to 11,160. Bad. Let me just draw some lines. It looks like the downward pressure has subsided for now. And so it looks like the downward pressure has subsided for now. The question is, where is it going to go from here? I think there's still some downward pressure. It's gone so well. I think it's going to stay depressed for a while. For reasons, it has a lot of headwinds. When you move down this far, and there's this many. Okay, so it's definitely booking away from this downward trend line finally. All right, so I think the downward pressure is subsided. I don't know it's over, but it's definitely subsided. Now, if you bought in at $1,100, $1,000, all right, per Bitcoin. So if you bought like 10, that's 100,000. You already made 30,000 right now. And I think what we're going to start seeing is a range in these prices. It's going to start ranging until it figures out what it's going to do. So you're in the middle of this trend line and also this trend line. And we're also in the middle of two moving averages as well. So this trend line here, where is this price? This is at 15,500. So it has to break 15,500, and it may take more time because as time goes on, you know, the trend line moves, and you can see it's like 1466, and then eventually out here it's 1300. So it really depends when it decides to break, at what price point and what price level. So is it going to break 15,000 by tomorrow? Probably not. If it's going to go sideways, it's going to take some time. Let's see how long it's going to take. All the way up to the 24th. So it's going to break. if I drew a line, let's just draw a straight line here at this point right here. Oh, okay. So at this point right now, this is on the 25th. So right here is the 25th. It has a few days to break this trend line. So if it does break this trend line, then hopefully we can look for, let me see, what can we look for? What's the other trend line? The other trend line is right here, sorry. It's moving about. I'm going to go on to the all-time high. All right. So the other trend line is right about here at 17,700. So it has a lot of downward trend lines to break through, and that's what's giving it its headwind. Will it do it? I don't know. I don't know. Let me see here. What are you all saying right here? Client Shibzig, are you serious? You heard about hacked accounts on Hit BTC? That's crazy. I'm not even sure if you can really trust that site. It seems like they're taking on any altcoin. They're supporting a lot of these hard forks. Yeah, it's amazing the Jacob TS. Yeah, it literally dropped. Yeah, it dropped like 5K and bounced back 5K within a 24-hour period. So yeah, if you had a lot of limit orders, you probably did good. People who were patient and put in limit orders, around the prices, somewhere around the prices that I was telling you about. All you had to do was sit back and wait, and you probably made a lot of Bitcoins. A lot of Bitcoins. And Merch Studios, that's a great idea. Buying at dollar cost average, um, you don't have to worry about what the price is doing. You're just sitting back and you're just hitting your orders. You're letting other people do all the work for you. And I think if you on some of these exchanges, if you put in a you get your fees are lower because you provide liquidity, and then the people who are takers, market orders, they pay more in commissions. Band-aids, that's a good point. You think ranging, you think that means the shit coins will be in season. That could be possibly true. The altcoin markets are going nuts right now. And Plex AMS, the Ikimoku, is showing decent support around 13,500 on Bitstamp. That's good to know. I mean, it's already hit 1,100. Could it go down any more? It could possibly go down more. We're literally in a we're in a poop and scoop. Like Bitcoin is really getting crapped on right now. And I think from my experience from the last bear market, is that you're probably going to get a dump. Like it's going to be dumped on, and people are going to crap on it, and then it's going to have a bounce back. Now, whether the bounce back is going to be a dead cat bounce or a continuation, it really has to break it. It has to break the all-time high. That's when you're going to figure out, like let me go back here. So let's go to the 12-hour. Although there's a huge difference in price on Bitphoenix. Look at this. Look at the price on Bitphoenix. Look at the price on Bitphoenix. A different story. A different story. They're almost about $500 difference in price. So when you see those two differences, something strange is going on. Something very strange is going on. But it could be an arbitrage opportunity if you can get your if you can get on Bitphoenix. But I'm going to look on Bitstamp. So on the 12-hour, this does not look good. You're seeing the beginning of a crossover here. The market is currently depressed right now, is what I would say. Doesn't mean it's a buying opportunity. Not necessarily. It's not really a buying opportunity, but the market is being depressed. So you're getting a depressed price. Let's have a look at the 1 day. The 1 day looks a little better on the 1 day because the moving average, the longer period moving average, the spot price right now, and plus this previous candlestick looks like it closed right around the moving average right here. So it looks like it's bouncing. It's going to bounce between this moving average and then this moving average on top. Moving averages. It's at 15,700, just right around the price what I said about 15,500. So this is at 15,700. And then where is this price right now? This price is almost at 1,400. So it may bounce between these two prices, but it's going to be interesting to see on the 1 day. If you do watch this particular time frame, you might want to look to see if it breaks above the short-term moving average. If it breaks above this moving average, then we could see kind of like a dead cat bounce. Really, to know whether it's going to go up any higher, you have to go above the all-time high to make a continuation. If it falls short above this all-time high, like it just only goes up to like 1900, if the highest it goes is anything under the all-time high, there's probably a really good chance that this was a dead cat bounce, right? This was just literally a bear or a bull trap. It was a bull trap. That's really critical. And I think as if the price does go back up and it gets closer and closer to this all-time high, get really scary. I think if there's not enough confidence in this price to go up higher, it's going to fall short of the all-time high. Careful. If it does continue to go down, watch for if it breaks below on a 1 day, below this moving average, you're probably going to see a continuation, probably down, further down. The long wick, when I see long wicks like this, it usually tells me there's selling pressure. Prices usually end up going further down or almost down to this price. It's scary right now, but it is a great time to do some dollar cost averaging, or if you do want to put like chunks of market orders or not market, limit orders, having like right now, you want your market or limit orders to be kind of small and spread out is what I would recommend. That's just me. Unfortunately, I haven't traded on the exchange in a long time, but I would put like small little increments of market orders, and I would just let the market hit my market orders, and I wouldn't panic, and I'd be okay with what I did, because that's part of my strategy. I know I'm not going to buy all my Bitcoins at the very bottom, because no one can call the bottom and no one can call the top. Not until after it happens anyway. That's the only time you know when the bottom and tops are, is after it happens. I can only make a guess, and so just putting in different amounts at different levels, you won't miss out on the price action. But if the price keeps going lower and lower, if you do have the money, you want to put in larger and larger amounts of limit orders. And so that way you're getting more and more Bitcoins, and what you're doing is you're average on the lower side. So you buy like $100, and then when the price goes lower, you buy $1,000, and then as the price even goes lower, then you buy $2,000. And what you're doing is you're average costing your dollar cost. You're still dollar cost averaging, but you're weighing it towards the lower price. And what ends up happening is, after you average everything out at a lower price, when you average everything out, and plus you get a lot more Bitcoins, because if you and I'm just speaking from involved, Bitcoin's only 9 years old, and I've been involved in at least 4 of the 9 years. So I think I can say I have some knowledge and experience of the market. And so at least I can say I've been involved at least 4 years. Some people just been barely involved within 2 years. But what I've learned is that it does go back up. The time frame or the horizon for after a bull market is 2 to 3 years. Not always, but 2 to 3 years. During that time, if you just accumulate Bitcoin, especially when it starts going, the lower it goes, the more you want to buy, the lower it goes. So if it starts, you depending on how much capital you have, or how much you sold during this time, or how much capital reserve you have, you want to pace it out, right? You want to spread it out. So the worst case, like, how can I say this? It's if your limit orders never get hit, that's a good thing, all right? Because you still should have some Bitcoin, right? You should still have some Bitcoin. Right now, you're just trading on the trading part of your Bitcoins, not the HODL part. You should HODL some Bitcoin always. So if you have the capital reserve to do this, even if your orders never get hit, because then that means the price is probably going to start turning upwards. Once you realize the price is turning up, that's when you do what is called quote unquote momentum trading. You're buying on the way up. You're helping to push the price up, right? And so when you do that, that's a different strategy, but it does work. And eventually you do sell eventually, but anyways, whenever you reach that magic number which you want to sell in profits, that's when you sell, which everybody's magic number is different. That's just me. Let me go to a 3-day here real quick. All right, and then okay, so on a 3-day, it looks like it didn't quite hit down here in the $10,000, but it's pretty darn close. The spot price is below, and actually, if you look at it, it's hitting its resistance is the moving average now. This moving average, which is at 14,866. What's the high? 14,840. So it is below this moving average. If it's below this moving average, I would consider it kind of bearish, or at least a selling pressure. It doesn't mean we're in a bear market, because I still haven't seen. I'm starting to see early, very, very early signs of a bear market. Doesn't mean it is a bear market, because you still need a confirmation, which means I need 2 lower lows, or at least 3 lower lows and 2 lower highs, at least, to get a confirmation that the market has turned over. But here is the longer term average. We could still see a price going back down in the $10,000 area. That's still a possibility. That is still in play, but it does not mean that this is a bear market. It just means that the price is, I think, it was very overinflated. It was really inflated very high. So we're returning to at least an average, at least an average, and then maybe even a mean being the median at least. And so somewhere between here and here is basically going to be the range. It's going to be 10,000 to 14,000, and that's going to be the range. So there's like a $4,000 range in price here. And then let's go to the 3-day, or I'm sorry, the one week. Let's go to the 1 week, and the 1 week is not that bad. The price did peak down here below the moving average on the 1 week. We're getting a lot of mixed signals. So when I see different time frames with different mixed signals, that tells me that the market really is confused or really uncertain. And so you're probably going to see the price go up, the price go down, the price go up, the price go down, and it's not going to be any clear direction, not at this point anyway. But at least on the weekly, on the long term, the spot price is still higher than the moving average, as you see right here. Spot price is still higher than the moving average. As long as it stays above this moving average, you still have to consider this in a bull market. I mean, you have to consider it in the bull market. This is the other option is if it goes down here. Where is it? You're looking at 7,000. So if it does hit 7,000, that's basically around my. If I can back up here, let's back up, shall we? Let's back up. All right, I'm backed up. All right, so those are my 2 trend lines from the previous all-time high from the previous rally. You'll see now this moving average is pretty much at 7,000. It's hitting this trend line right here. And so there's a possibility, if you are trading on an exchange, or if you could make a contract to buy at 7,000, whatever. I know there's LedgerX, there's future markets. You know, if you have the capital reserves, put some market orders, or put some limit orders right in here, and see what happens. If you're half in, half out right now, or if you have some capital, go ahead and put some market orders right there and see what happens. See if it hits. It probably won't. You'll be surprised. Like if there are a lot of people that have a market order at around that 7,000 price range, it probably never hits. You know, the prices move where it's least resistant, and so if there's a lot of resistance, a pressure, or if there's a lot of support at a certain price level, it never really hits that price level. It goes the other way because the price moves in the path of least resistance. And so that's why when you put a limit order at a very strong support price, it never gets hit. It never gets hit, and you never get that price you wanted. So you always have to consider these when you come up with your strategies to put limit orders. Um, yeah, that's that. So far, right now, you just have to consider we're still in a bull market until we can get at least 3 lower lows and 2 lower highs. Anyways, let me check out let's check out Lifecoin. Let's see where the rest of the markets are. While that's loading, let's see what you all are saying these days now. Let me see here. Crypto Cotter, you're really saying like 8,300 is your support level? Okay, that's not too bad. I was saying like 7,000. So, but you're probably right, Crypto Cotter, because when people have so much support at 7,000, the price never goes down that far. The price moves to the path of least resistance. And so if there's a lot of support, the price never pushes down that far. Let me see here. Jacob TS, do you really think that it was the traditional markets? Traditional markets were trying to shake down the Bitcoin whales? It's hard to, because a lot of the Bitcoin whales have bought in a long time ago, and even with this 50%, like if we assume like 20,000 and we're at 10,000, that 20 to $10,000 move, that's 50% like correction. A lot of whales are still up like insanely amount, like at least 1,000%. So yeah, you're right. It's hard to shake Bitcoin whales, because they know the price is just going to go up, even with these traditional markets in play. HODL, how you doing, HODL? This is the first time I've seen you in a live chat. You see up to 25,000 again. Well, my target price is still in play of 21,000, and so unless I actually see a confirmation of a reversal, which the problem with that is you don't know that it's reversing until it actually happens and the price is already down. So that's what sucks about doing technical analysis. It doesn't tell you the future, it just tells you what happened. But at least if you know what happened, you're able to start doing things, start making the right trades, and stop making the wrong type of trades. If you don't know what happened or what is happening, in order to know what's happening, you have to know what happened, right? So you have to get an idea of what's going on, and that way you can get some idea of price prediction in the future. Without it, you're just guessing, you're gambling. Yeah, Plex AMS and Band-Aids. You're right. A lot of the futures markets, they were forced to be long, because it would cost too much money to be short. But because it costs a lot of money to be short, I'm sure there's one person who was short this market and they're sitting really pretty. If you take a contrarian view of these markets, uh, there are a lot of people who are long, and there was probably a very small percentage who were short. And remember, the market doesn't pay out to the majority; the market pays out to the minority. So that could have been a warning, like the fact that the futures markets were more heavily weighted to the longs. Let me see, what else are y'all saying? Jacob T.S., you're saying traditional market makers want to control puts and calls. They make profit off of ups and downs, not up, up, up. You're right. You're right. And but Bitcoin. I want to say Bitcoin is different because it's as much as there's a regulated market for Bitcoin derivatives, the underlying asset is Bitcoin, which is totally uncontrollable. And with the cap in place, there's not that many Bitcoins to go around. So if there is market manipulation, it, it's only temporary. And I think if it is being manipulated, it's really being manipulated to shake out the weak hands. So you really got to be in this game for a very long time. And if the longer you've been in it, the more money you'll make. That is my honest opinion. So if you all gotten in recently and you're taking a loss, it's really hard and scary. You probably have very weak hands. But if you've been in this for like even from now, like if you bought in at 20,000, if you hold on to that Bitcoin long enough, it will you will make out better. You will make out better. It just you just came in at the wrong cycle. Or if you think of long term, there is no. It's in the long term. It doesn't really matter when you come in. It's any time is a good time. But like in the midterm cycle, you'll probably be okay. In the short term cycle, it sucks. It sucks right now because you're taking a really really bad hit. And it kind of sucks to be in that situation. People who have been in a long time, everybody's up. I'm up. I'm up, and anybody who's been up since the beginning of this year, you're still up. There's no reason for you to sell. So the reason why it probably went 50% down is probably because 50% of the participants came in at above 10,000, way above 10,000, and so they're taking it. They're taking the loss. Yeah, just HODL. Everyone just HODL. That's right. All right, let me see here. Okay, so it's finally loaded. All right. All right, I'll take a look at this real quick, and then I'll end the live stream. I know it was pretty long, but I got nothing. I have no life. I have no life on a Friday night. You know, doing this, I enjoy this more than I enjoy going out because you waste money going out. Doing a live stream with you guys is more fun anyway. All right, let's take a look here. So let's see. First, I'll take a look at the 30-day here. I never looked at Salome, did I? Let's go take a look at Salome real quick. Let's see what's trending. Um, there's not a lot trending. Everything in the social media is all negative. Everyone's hush hush, except for edgeless, and that's up 74%. So if you want to know what's being pumped, Nabello, 222%. That's up 36%. Wow. Pura, I don't even know what Pura is. If you notice, all the other coins that were pumping, everyone's pretty quiet now. They don't want to say too much. Dark. Why in the hell is Bitcoin dark? Oh, anyways, that's pumping. Look at that social media volume. Okay, that's that. So, anyways, let's cut this out so I could save some. There we go. Oh, Mr. Lordex, Mr. Lordex 1, you don't have a life either. Oh goodness. Well, thank you, Mr. HODL. I appreciate it. I appreciate your kind words to me. That means a lot. I try to be as honest as I can, and share with you my experience, because if I actually had anybody out there who actually made a video telling me their experience about Bitcoin before 2013, and I did have some people give me comments and everything, and when I reflect back on it, their comments to me when I used to make my Bitcoin trade videos was to get out of Mt. Gox, it's going to collapse. I should have listened to them. And so now when I chat with you guys in the live chat, and you guys leave me comments, I listen. I listen. And when I hear people, warning about maybe an impending collapse or problems or just anything, I listen this time. I don't ignore and say, well, I know better than these people, when in reality, I don't know anything. So I've learned my lesson. I learned to listen, even though no matter how ridiculous or how bizarre or how silly, I'm still willing to listen. And it's paid off. It's paid off. It's helped me tremendously. I probably would be, if I listened sooner, I'd probably be in a much better place. I really would. But at the same time, if you don't learn the hard way, sometimes you don't learn nothing at all. So you just have to learn the hard way. And now that I learned the hard way, I know a lot better. And I am making money right now. I'm in the green, so I can't complain too much. Bitcoin at 7.6% in 30 days, a little bit down. Ethereum at 87%. They're a little bit down as well. Bitcoin Cash, despite the retracement, they're still up 128%. So they are trending up higher. Let me see. Ripple is still tearing it up at 381%. So there may be some truth to the rumor that Coinbase is going to add Ripple. There may be some truth to that rumor, because it just doesn't make any sense to why they are up in price. None whatsoever. Litecoin is up 289% in the last 30 days. Cardano up 13,000%. IOTA 319%. Dash is up 113%. And there's rumors that Dash will be added to Coinbase. So go figure. NEM up 300%. Monero up 140%. So like, if you look at all of these, most of these are still up 30 days ago. Literally 30 days ago. What was that? Thanksgiving? Around Thanksgiving time? If you bought any of these coins around Thanksgiving, you are still up tremendously. So I don't know what people, if you want to put everything into perspective, like this should give you a perspective. You're still up tremendous amount. All right. I mean, there's no reason people should be panicking whatsoever. EOS, 352% in 30 days. Bitcoin Gold's the only thing that isn't up by a tremendous amount. But if you think about it, Bitcoin Gold didn't exist. Now you have a $263 coin just because you have some Bitcoin. So there you go. And then QTIM, 293% increase. Neo, as much as all the pump that Neo did, it's in the last 30 days, it's only up 65% for the last 30 days. And Stellar, 394%. Ethereum Classic, 83%. Lisk, 113%. Tron, I don't even know what it is. Don't even care. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's just one of those coins where it kind of gets a huge pump just to get it going, and then it dies out. It's kind of like going to that new restaurant. Everyone goes to that restaurant because it's new, it's different. They have some interesting stuff, but after you go to that restaurant for the first time, you don't keep going back every time, and eventually it just becomes old, and then it goes out of business. Let me see, Verge, 2,612%. Let me see, Zcash, 90%. OmiCgo, OMG, 68%. Populous, 283%. Let me see what else. NXT, 939%. BitShares, 310%. Waves, 138%. I mean, like, you have to be, and I know I joke around, but literally, you would have to be retarded or mentally retarded to lose money, or you would have to have tremendous bad luck to lose money if you invested in any of these, any cryptocurrency over 30 days ago. And 30 days ago wasn't a lot. I mean, think about it. It was like Thanksgiving. Wasn't that long ago. Like, really, Thanksgiving was not that long ago. My goodness. So you're still up. You're still up if you hodled, if you held on to your coin. If you panicked in any way, shape, or form during any of this time, you probably didn't make that much. You probably lost. So if you just hold on to these coins, you'll probably do all right. I mean, you have to be a brain dead to lose money. But, some people are brain dead. Let me see, Komodo, 344%. Ardor, 271%. Stratus, 159%. Bitcoin, 257%. Augur, 195%. I mean, just Steam, even Steam, okay? Steam, 190%. Dogecoin of all things. Like, what's amazing? People are actually talking about Dogecoin being worth 1 penny. Like, people are excited about Dogecoin being worth 1 penny. It's hilarious. 233%. Siacoin, 276%. Veritasium, 233%. Monacoin, 200%. Like ARC, 93%. All those people who actually like pumped and dumped their altcoins like in the summer, man, if they held on to them, they'd be fiat rich, that's for sure. Rayoblocks, 2,735%. Decred, 96%. Status, 292%. Gosh, just reading this out loud just makes me sick. Electronium, 219%. Salt, 150%. Binance Coin, Really? Binance Coin, 188%. Golem, 120%. Pivx, Pivx is almost $8. What a joke. 161%. Digibyte, 373%. Bitcoin Dark, 182%. Byteball, Byte, 97%. And then Sentiment Network at 802%. This is ridiculous. So yeah, like is the market down in the last 30 days? Is the market really down? Not really. It doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it at all. You know, to get these kind of returns on a traditional market, it would take like it would have to be a tremendous bull market to get these kind of returns. On crypto, this is what you get in 30 days. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Anyways, let me close this out. Let's go back to the meme here. Well, happy holidays, everyone. We have 2 more days of the happy Hanukkah, and so I will be. Let me see, what is today? The 23rd. I will do another 23rd, and then the 24th, and I will also be here Christmas as well. So I will do a Christmas night, same time, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will be here. I will do a live stream. After the 23rd, however, I will be traveling, so I won't be able to do any live stream. I'll probably take a break, spend some time with my family. We're planning to go up north to enjoy the snow. We're gonna have some fun, and just really, I'm gonna try to enjoy my time. And I'm not gonna be trading. Maybe not even gonna look at the markets, you know, because what's the point? I'm not gonna trade. I'm not gonna do anything. I'll just hodl. I mean, unless the market crashes down to like, you know, I don't know, $10. I'll be frantic in looking for a buyer. I will try to buy as many coins as I can for $10. That would be the only reason that I would, you know, break away from my holiday and to go out and buy a lot of Bitcoins. I'll try to keep some cash on me. Try to look to see if I could buy some, you know, for $10. That's if the market crashes. I doubt it. I seriously doubt that's going to happen. But overall, I think the fear seems to be subsiding. It doesn't mean the price isn't going to go down. I think there still is some selling pressure. There's probably some weak hands you still have to shake out. A lot of people did buy in. You know, if you look at the charts, definitely some people bought in at the top of the market. Those people are out now. It's just a matter of shaking out. You know, the people who bought in probably at 1,500 to 14 to 1,300, and probably to shake out some of the people who bought in at 1,100 as well. You know, the market really has to be tested. So far, we haven't really tested the market yet. So this is, I think we're getting a temporary bounce, and we may test 1,100 again. We may test 1,100 again to basically, you know, test the strong hands. And I could tell you that the people who bought at the beginning of the year, they're not going to be selling. The people who are probably going to sell are the ones that basically have come in and bought around at 7,000. So anybody who bought at 7,000 and up are most likely to have the weak hands. That is my honest opinion. And so those are the people that are going to be tested. And most likely, if you got in around 7,000, you're probably the noob. Or anybody who's new, all right, is probably, it doesn't matter what price you bought it at. You could have bought it at 2,000, all the way up to 7,000, all the way up to 19,000. you're probably going to be tested. And hopefully you'll be strong enough to either you're strong enough to hold or you're smart enough to trade, which is both of those are pretty hard when you're a noob and you're not a seasoned veteran. You're not a green. You're still green and wet behind the ears. Just think in 3 years or even 4 years. Just think 4 years. There is the halvening, the 2020 halvening. There most likely will be some form of bear market between now and the halvening. There could be. It feels a little different because the fees are getting high. The fee structure will continue. I think the fee structure will still continue, and the hashing rate, even though if the price goes down, will still continue to go up. The only difference is there are these forks of Bitcoin, which I think they're a nuisance. They're a nuisance to people who have been in the space for a very long time, but they're deceptive for anybody new. You know, people may actually think that's a good Bitcoin. People may think they're buying Bitcoin and end up buying like a $200 altcoin that they think is Bitcoin, which is hilarious. So anyways, let me check out the live chat here. Let's check you guys out. Okay. So thank you for everybody being in the live chat. It looks like Jacob TS, stay strong and HODL on. I agree with you. It shouldn't be too hard for the people who have been here for more than 2 years. If you bought your Bitcoins from now and 2 years ago, it's not hard to HODL. I mean, you are still over 1,000% up. Still. Brad Taylor, right call for me in the beginning of the year and HODLing now. Yeah, you're still up over 1,000%. Still up over 1,000%. It's not hard to HODL. DD8209, thank you, Mr. Lord Dex. I love you too. Thank you very much. Appreciate your love. Let me see who else. Merch Studios, happy holidays to you as well. Happy HODL HODL days. I love that. That's very funny. Oh goodness. Let's see some of your band-aids. Welcome to the chat. Hopefully we'll see you again. Plex AMS, thank you. Enjoy your chat as well. Let's see who else is all in here. Client Shibzig, good to see you. That's the opposite of being greedy, James. Appreciate it like you do it. Thank you very much. And then thank you for the thumbs up. And Mr. Looks like HODL, thank you for the smiles. Tomcat, Merry Christmas, or Crypto Miss, I guess some people would like to call it. Let me see who else is in here. Crypto Cotter. Let me see. Everyone in the live chat here, thank you very much. You guys are really chatting it up late at night. You guys must be late night traders or something. But appreciate every one of you being in here. Let's see how far this goes up. It goes up 21 million. Thank you for being in the live chat. Dave Hamilton as well. Qbase 08. Marvin Doonan. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Sometimes I'm not good with reading. Richie Rich, Will Campbell, good to see you. Free Skillshare Media, good to see you as well. Let's just see who was all in here in the live chat. My goodness, Bothead. And that's high as it goes. Dave Hamilton. All right, so let's see everybody else here. Nope. Just let me see if it scrolls all the way down now. There we go. Okay, 21 million. I see you. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Please like, dislike, leave a comment after the live stream, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye now.